Chapter 3091. In the sky above light shadow, true heaven palace, 3 flowing lights streaked across the sky and stood in midair. The 3 of them stopped in midair and gave off a terrifying aura that shrouded the entire sect. The disciples of light shadow, true heaven palace all revealed terrified expressions when they felt the pressure of the 3 auras. That's Heavenly Emperor Mo Qingyun. Why has he come to light shadow, true heaven palace? The 2 people beside him seemed to be Divine Emperor Darkstar and Divine Emperor Zhao Suns. Could something big have happened for the 3 of them to come together? Looking at the 3 of them, they don't seem to have good intentions. I heard people say that Heavenly Emperor Mo Qingyun killed Divine Emperor Zhui Qinglong. Could it be that the 3 of them are here to destroy our light shadow, true heaven palace? Don't talk nonsense, I don't want to die. Back in the Anti-Devil Alliance, Mo Qingyun's reputation was extremely high, and many people recognized him. Now that he had come to light shadow, true heaven palace, he was immediately recognized by some people. While everyone was discussing, in the meeting hall of light shadow, true heaven palace, Lin Qingxuan's expression trembled. They came so quickly. Looking at Mo Qingyun's stance, he seems to be really angry. This unfilial son has gotten himself into big trouble this time. Thinking about Mo Qingyun's fury, Lin Qingxuan's expression turned heavy. For a moment, he was at a loss. He knew clearly that it was impossible for Mo Qingyun to spare Lin Guang. However, he wasn't willing to see Lin Guang pay with his life. Sigh. After thinking hard, Lin Qingxuan sighed and walked out of the hall. When he came out, he saw Mo Qingyun and the other 2 in midair. Lin Qingxuan revealed a warm smile and said, "Mr. Mo, Divine Emperor Darkstar, Divine Emperor Zhao Suns, what wind blew the 3 of you here today?" "Humph." Darkstar and Divine Emperor Zhao Suns snorted at Lin Qingxuan's enthusiasm and gave him a cold glance. After that, Enchun turned around and paid no further attention to Lin Qingxuan. Mo Qingyun sneered when he saw Lin Qingxuan asking the obvious. He said, "Saint Emperor Lin Qingxuan, you should ask your young master what's going on today. I'm sure he'll know." Mo Qingyun's cold question made Lin Qingxuan's face twitch, and his mood became even heavier. Mo Qingyun wasn't polite at all. He didn't give him any face. This also showed that Mo Qingyun did not take him seriously and was not afraid of his strength at all. Lin Qingxuan knew that the battle power of light shadow, true heaven palace, couldn't be compared to true beginning Devil Hall. However, as the master of a sect and a peak saint emperor, he still felt rather displeased that Mo Qingyun had been so rude. Lin Qingxuan's face darkened slightly, and his tone became cold. "Mr. Mo, I don't know how my son has offended you to make you gather so many people here to denounce him. If my son has truly committed a heinous crime, I won't let him off easily. However, my son isn't in the sect right now. Everything will have to wait for him to return. Of course, if you've deliberately come to demonstrate your power, even if my strength is inferior to yours, I won't allow you to humiliate me so easily." Lin Qingxuan's words could be said to be righteous. Even if he had no intention of being biased, he also didn't show any signs of weakness. If it was an ordinary person, they would definitely not doubt Lin Qingxuan after hearing what he said. However, Mo Qingyun didn't buy it. Since Saint Emperor Lin Qingxuan is so righteous, this matter will be much easier to handle. Fewer people will die. However, whether Lin Guang is in the sect or not, Saint Emperor Lin Qingxuan will have to wait for us to search. Mo Qingyun chuckled and said something profound. He then turned his head to look at Enchun and Zhao Suns. Enchun, Zhao Suns, dig 3 feet into the ground to find Lin Guang. If he's alive, I want to see him. If he's dead, I want to see his corpse. Kill whoever dares to stop me. Yes. Enchun nodded and immediately rushed into light shadow, true heaven palace. Seeing Enchun and Enchun's actions, Lin Qingxuan was astonished. He didn't expect Mo Qingyun to be so overbearing. Facing Mo Qingyun's actions, no matter how good Lin Qingxuan's temper was, he still shouted angrily, "Mo Qingyun, Don't go overboard. Do you really think I, Lin Qingxuan, am easy to bully? Go overboard? Did I? Mo Qingyun narrowed his eyes and looked at Lin Qingxuan coldly. My actions now are all learned from your noble young master. When he entered true beginning Devil Hall with others and killed my sect's old ancestor, he should have thought of suffering my wrath. Facing Mo Qingyun's unyielding attitude, Lin Qingxuan's face twitched, and he couldn't help being speechless. There was no other way. Since Lin Guang had done that, he couldn't stand on the side of reason. Seeing that Lin Qingxuan didn't say anything, Mo Qingyun ignored him and looked at the disciples of Light Shadow, True Heaven Palace. Tell me where Lin Guang is. If I can't find him, don't blame me for venting my anger on you guys. Once Mo Qingyun said that, he gave off a murderous aura that shrouded the disciples of Light Shadow, True Heaven Palace. Feeling Mo Qingyun's murderous aura, the disciples of Light Shadow, True Heaven Palace were astonished and revealed terrified expressions. Under the shroud of Mo Qingyun's murderous aura, they felt as if they were in an ice cellar, as if they were being cut by tens of thousands of sharp blades. Not long later, there were disciples who couldn't hold it in anymore and were prepared to reveal Lin Guang's whereabouts. Seeing that there were disciples who were about to reveal Lin Guang's whereabouts, Lin Qingxuan immediately shouted coldly and rushed to berate Mo Qingyun. Mo Qingyun, do you really think I won't dare to make a move on you? Hearing Lin Qingxuan's words, Mo Qingyun's expression turned cold, and he turned his head to look at him. After taking a few glances at Lin Qingxuan, Mo Qingyun didn't speak to him and directly said to Zhao Sunce, Zhao Sunce, spar with Saint Emperor Lin Qingxuan so that he won't be bored standing at the side. It's a matter of life and death. All right. Zhao Sunce nodded and charged towards Lin Qingxuan. Seeing Mo Qingyun's straightforward action, Lin Qingxuan's expression froze, and his eyes were filled with astonishment. His scare tactics were completely useless in front of Mo Qingyun. Seeing that Zhao Sunce and Lin Qingxuan were fighting, Mo Qingyun revealed a look of disdain. He chuckled lightly and said, You suspect that I killed Saint Emperor Zhui Qinglong and formed the Demon Extermination Alliance to deal with me. Do you really think I don't know? Let me tell you, if I, Mo Qingyun, want to kill someone, I won't do it secretly. If I say I'll kill you openly. Hearing Mo Qingyun's domineering words, Lin Qingxuan was speechless. He felt extremely aggrieved. He didn't want to be enemies with Mo Qingyun, but he didn't expect Lin Guang to act so quickly. Before he could react, Lin Guang had already gone to kill Lei Gi, putting him in a difficult position. Seeing that Lin Qingxuan was stopped by Zhao Sunce, Mo Qingyun looked at the others and said, In order to protect Lin Guang, Lin Qingxuan didn't care about your life at all. Do you still want to protect such a sect? When Mo Qingyun said this, the crowd started to stir, and they all whispered to each other. Seeing the reaction of the disciples, Lin Qingxuan immediately panicked, and a strong sense of uneasiness rose in his heart. Bookmark for easy reading. Chapter 3092. Mo Qingyun's words seemed to be casual, but they actually contained enormous destructive power. He was forcing Lin Qingxuan to choose between Lin Guang and his disciples. If Lin Qingxuan chose to protect Lin Guang with his life, his disciples would be bitterly disappointed and would no longer have any sense of belonging. More importantly, even if he wanted to protect Lin Guang, he might not be able to, but he really could not bear to not protect Lin Guang. Mo Qingyun, if you really have the ability, don't take your anger out on innocent people. Lin Qingxuan had no choice but to provoke Mo Qingyun, hoping that Mo Qingyun would change his mind. Mo Qingyun was very clear about Lin Qingxuan's thoughts. Hearing this, Mo Qingyun sneered and said, The person you want to deal with is me. Why can Lin Guang take his anger out on others, but not me? Didn't you call yourselves the Righteous Alliance and want to suppress me, the great demon? Why are you doing things that are even more shameless than a demon like me? Hearing Mo Qingyun's question, Lin Qingxuan was speechless and did not know how to respond. He had no choice. Mo Qingyun's words were very reasonable, and he could not find a reason to refute. Boom! While Lin Qingxuan was distracted, Zhao Sun's hit him with his palm, and he fell from the sky. After being hit by Zhao Sun's palm, Lin Qingxuan immediately spat out blood, and his aura weakened greatly. Bam! Lin Qingxuan crashed into a hall before he could stabilize his body. His face was extremely pale. Seeing that Zhao Sun's had heavily injured Lin Qingxuan, the corners of Mo Qingyun's mouth curled up slightly. He looked at Lin Qingxuan with a mocking gaze and said, "Saint Emperor Lin Qingxuan, on account of your indelible contributions when fighting against the dark demon race, I will give you face and not vent my anger on others. Of course, the prerequisite for me to take my anger out on others is that you immediately stop and ignore this matter. I hope that you will not continue to make mistakes and harm others." Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Lin Qingxuan's expression was complicated and his eyes were filled with confusion. What should he do? Should he continue to make unnecessary sacrifices and go to the Yellow Springs with Lin Guang? Or should he watch as Lin Guang was killed? Palace Master, looking at Lin Qingxuan, who was not far away, the disciples of Light Shadow, True Heaven Palace, revealed expressions of anticipation. It wasn't that they were afraid of death, but they felt that it wasn't worth it for Lin Qingxuan to sacrifice everyone for Lin Guang. Master, Lin Guang has been found. While Lin Qingxuan was having mixed feelings, Enchun captured a person and brought him over. Seeing the person in Enchun's hands, Lin Qingxuan's expression trembled. He shouted nervously, "Guang, father." Hearing Lin Qingxuan's voice, Lin Guang immediately looked over. When he saw Lin Qingxuan's face and his wretched appearance, Lin Guang was completely stunned. Lin Qingxuan had lost, and it looked like he had lost miserably. Not only that, but Zhao Sun was the only one who attacked. Enchun didn't participate in the battle at all. He just kept looking for him in the sect. Lin Guang, you're not bad. You actually dared to touch the ancestor of my true beginning Devil Palace. You're much more promising than your father. Looking at Lin Guang, who was brought before him, the corners of Mo Qingyun's mouth curled up into a cold smile. After Mo Qingyun finished speaking, he didn't wait for Lin Guang to refute before he slapped Lin Guang with his palm. A violent surge of saint energy blasted out from Mo Qingyun's palm and hit Lin Guang domineeringly. No! Seeing Mo Qingyun's actions, Lin Qingxuan panicked and wanted to rush forward to stop Mo Qingyun. However, before Lin Qingxuan could move, he was blocked by Zhao Sun. Staring at Lin Qingxuan in front of him, Zhao Sun warned coldly, "Lin Qingxuan, I hope you don't make a mistake. Lin Guang only has himself to blame for ending up like this." Puffed. After being hit by Mo Qingyun's palm, Lin Guang immediately spat out blood. Immediately, the saint energy ripple that Lin Guang was emitting began to dissipate rapidly. Mo Qingyun's palm had crippled his cultivation. Whoosh! Seeing that Lin Guang's cultivation was only crippled and not killed by Mo Qingyun, Lin Qingxuan's expression relaxed. In his opinion, Mo Qingyun not killing Lin Guang was already the best outcome. Mo Qingyun, you actually crippled my cultivation. Feeling his body weakening, Lin Guang's eyes widened in disbelief. He really didn't expect Mo Qingyun to be so tyrannical, crippling his cultivation without any hesitation. Listening to Lin Guang's shocked words, Mo Qingyun smiled coldly. "Don't worry. Wait until I catch all of you. Then I'll send you on your way." As soon as Mo Qingyun finished speaking, he raised his hand and sent Lin Guang to the Fortune mainland. Seeing that Lin Guang was gone, Lin Qingxuan's heart trembled and a strong sense of unwillingness surfaced on his face. Mo Qingyun didn't care about Lin Qingxuan's unwillingness. He looked at Lin Qingxuan calmly and said, "Saint Emperor Lin Qingxuan, I'll take Lin Guang away today. You can take revenge on me at any time. Of course, if you choose to take revenge on me, you have to consider my revenge." After Mo Qingyun finished speaking, he ignored Lin Qingxuan and turned to leave with Enchun and Enchun. Looking at Mo Qingyun and the other two's backs, Lin Qingxuan struggled in his heart. Finally, he sighed and said to Mo Qingyun and the other two's backs, "Forget it. This unfilial son only has himself to blame. I can't ask Mr. Mo to spare his life. Only leave me a corpse. Okay. Mo Qingyun agreed to Lin Qingxuan's request. Then, the three of them disappeared and headed to the other sections. Seeing Mo Qingyun and the other two leave, Lin Qingxuan sighed again and said, although Mo Qingyun's way of doing things is overbearing, he's honest and upright. I don't think he killed Saint Emperor Zhui Qinglong. Ing Wudi is using this as a pretext to deal with Mo Qingyun. Who knows how many people will suffer? Lin Qingxuan sighed and shook his head. He didn't want to get involved in this matter. It had only been a few days, yet Lin Guang had died because of this. He didn't want to get involved anymore. Unrivaled Star Zone, Shadowless Sky Palace. While Ing Wudi was waiting, several figures landed. Greetings, Third Elder, Fourth Elder, and Sixth Elder. Looking at the three people in front of him, Ing Wudi showed a respectful expression and bowed to the three of them. In response to Ing Wudi's salute, the three of them remained indifferent and waved their hands casually. The third elder was the first to speak. Ing Wudi, we still have important duties to attend to. We don't have time to waste. Just take us to whoever you want to deal with this time. Hearing the old man's words, Ing Wudi did not delay and immediately led the way. As Ing Wudi led the way, he didn't forget to tell the three of them about Zhou Jing. Although it's a little troublesome to deal with him head-on, it won't be difficult for the four of us to kill him together. The third elder smiled faintly after listening to Ing Wudi's explanation. He didn't take Zhou Jing to heart. Ing Wudi frowned when he saw the third elder's reaction. He felt a little dissatisfied, as he thought that the third elder was overconfident. Although Zhou Jing's strength couldn't compare to Zhui Qinglong's, it wouldn't be easy to kill him now that he was on guard. Chapter 3093. Half a day later. Turn of Time Starfield, Heavenly Spirit Shifting Star Palace. Grand Supreme Ancestor's direct disciple, Cheng Wanmo, had his cultivation crippled by Mo Qingyun and was taken away by Mo Qingyun, half dead. A day later. 5 Brilliant Starfield, 5 Brilliant Sect. Grand Supreme Elder's grandson, Wu Linbai, had his cultivation crippled by Mo Qingyun and was taken away by force from the sect. Another 10 hours passed. Jade Zither Starfield, Heavenly Zither Music Pavilion. Pavilion Master's second daughter's husband, Wang Yimin, had been killed by Mo Qingyun with one strike. After leaving Light Shadow, True Heaven Palace, Missouri Qingyun went to one sect after another, killing all the noble young masters and geniuses. In an instant, Mo Qingyun's reputation soared, even more so than when he was in the Anti-Devil Alliance. Of course, Mo Qingyun's current reputation was more of a ferocious one. Following Mo Qingyun's ferocious reputation, rumors of him being a devil began to spread rapidly. Previously, when Ing Wudi said that Mo Qingyun was a devil, everyone was skeptical, but now they slowly believed him. Mo Qingyun was too domineering, just like a homicidal maniac. Soon, the sect masters and elders of the various large sects began to contact the people of other sections. Not long after, these people gathered together to discuss how to deal with Mo Qingyun. This time, everyone had gathered without Ing Wudi's intervention. They were completely of their own accord. In the Anti-Devil Alliance, Lin Qingxuan's status was the highest, so everyone gathered at Light Shadow, True Heaven Palace. Saint Emperor Lin Qingxuan, Mo Qingyun is tyrannical. We can't tolerate it. Fan Yuqin, who was to Lin Qingxuan's left, had an angry expression, expressing her dissatisfaction with Mo Qingyun. Saint Emperor Ing Wudi is right. After the Dark Devil race was eliminated, Mo Qingyun is the biggest devil. No wonder Mo Qingyun was so eager to deal with the Dark Devil race. He wanted to use us to get rid of his biggest opponent so that he could rule the entire starfield. Hearing Fan Yuqin's analysis, everyone nodded in agreement. Judging from the current situation, it wouldn't be long before Mo Qingyun would be able to rule over the entire starfield. Looking at everyone whispering to each other, Lin Qingxuan's expression dimmed, and he remained silent. When Lin Guang was taken away, he had already decided not to get involved in this matter. As for the people in front of him, he would not stop them from doing whatever they wanted. Lin Qingxuan thought for a moment and said, "Everyone, it was Guang, and the others who were in the wrong in the first place. They only have themselves to blame for their current situation. I think we should end this matter here and not add to the dispute. Now that the Dark Devils have been eliminated, our main focus should be on rebuilding our sections. Don't fight anymore and increase the casualties of the Starfield realm. Hearing Lin Qingxuan say this, Fan Yuqin and the others were stunned. They were very surprised. They hadn't expected that Lin Qingxuan wouldn't be angry at all when his son had been crippled by Mo Qingyun and might even die at the hands of Mo Qingyun. While everyone was surprised, they also felt disdain for Lin Qingxuan. Lin Qingxuan was a coward. He hadn't reacted at all when Mo Qingyun had dealt with Lin Guang. Although they despised Lin Qingxuan was very strong and would be a powerful helper. If Lin Qingxuan didn't participate, it wouldn't be easy for them to go against Mo Qingyun. Ma Bei thought for a moment and said, Sacred Emperor Lin Qingxuan, the true Demon Hall's forces are too strong. They aren't something we can deal with alone. If we don't join forces, we might be annihilated one by one, just like Sacred Emperor Zhuo Qinglong. I didn't agree with Sacred Emperor Ing Wudi's suggestion before, but now I feel that it makes sense. If we don't suppress Mo Qingyun's growth, no one will be able to keep him in check. The Starfield domain might really be in chaos. For example, right now, he's wantonly killing and injuring our disciples and relatives. We can't do anything about it. Think about it. If he can kill our disciples and relatives like this, he will be able to do the same to us next time. Ma Bei's worried words made Fan Yuqin and the others frown. They were all very worried. Regarding this situation, no one dared to guarantee that it wouldn't happen. Then, everyone looked at Lin Qingxuan, waiting for him to make a decision. Under everyone's gaze, Lin Qingxuan remained silent and decided not to get involved in this matter. Seeing Lin Qingxuan's determination, everyone looked disappointed and despised him even more. Everyone, Mo Qingyun is heading to the invincible star field now. Should we take this opportunity to attack the true Demon Hall? Seeing how Lin Qingxuan remained silent, Fan Yuqin gave up on trying to convince him. She began to ask Ma Bei and the others for their opinions. Chang Xingyi thought about what Fan Yuqin had said and said, although in Chun, Zhao Sun's, and Mo Qingyun have left, Xian Yang is still watching over the true Demon Hall. With Lei Muan, who possesses the battle prowess of a Saint Emperor, as well as the girl called Yun Luo, they can keep Saint Emperors busy. Moreover, Lei Muan's supreme treasure could trap a Saint Emperor for a while. With our strength, it won't be easy for us to break through the true Demon Hall, Jinshin said. I think it's best if we contact Sacred Emperor Ing Wudi and take action with us. Fan Yuqin and the others immediately felt troubled after hearing Cheng Xingyi's analysis. They all became extremely stern. Mo Qingyun, He Yu, and He Yu were not in the true Demon Hall. The true Demon Hall possessed enough strength to fend them off. If Mo Qingyun, He Yu, and He Yu returned, how were they supposed to deal with the true Demon Hall? I never thought that the true Demon Hall's strength would reach such a level unknowingly. Cheng Xingyi could not help but sigh when he discovered the true Demon Hall's battle prowess. Back in the Demon Resistance Alliance, I discovered that Mo Qingyun was extraordinary. I never thought that his rate of growth would reach such a terrifying level. Lin Qingxuan's expression became even heavier when he heard everyone's analysis. He was glad that he did not act rashly. Now that the situation was set, it was impossible to take down Mo Qingyun. At the same time, Mo Qingyun arrived in the invincible starfield and stood above the shadowless heavenly palace. Ing Wudi, get out here. Mo Qingyun's face darkened as he stood above the invincible starfield. He roared furiously at the people below. As Mo Qingyun roared furiously, he also released his presence and pressed down on the shadowless heavenly palace. A few disciples with weaker cultivations directly fainted under the pressure of Mo Qingyun, He Yu, and He Yu's presences. Some disciples were even directly killed by the presences. Sensing Mo Qingyun, He Yu, and He Yu's presences, the disciples in the shadowless heavenly palace shivered, their faces pale. As for some great saints and great emperor elders, their expressions were tense and dark as they flew toward Emo Qingyun, Hey you, and Hey you. Seeing these people fly over, but not seeing Ing Wudi, a cold smile appeared on Emo Qingyun's face. Hide and seek? At this point, Ing Wudi was actually playing this game. Chapter 3094. Greetings to Mr. Emo and the two Saint Emperors. When he arrived in front of Emo Qingyun and the other two, the three revealed respectful expressions and hurriedly bowed in greeting. They had no choice but to lower themselves. They were worried that if they angered Emo Qingyun, he would directly slaughter them all. If that happened, they wouldn't even be able to reason with him. They wouldn't even have the tears to cry. What are you doing? Emo Qingyun sneered disdainfully at their actions. He said, I heard before that your shadowless heaven palace has gathered all the major forces to kill me and maintain the peace of the astral realm. Now that I'm here, you're not only not attacking me, you're even treating me with respect. Are you trying peaceful means before resorting to force? Hearing Emo Qingyun's mockery, they all smiled bitterly. They were extremely depressed. They wanted to do that, but they didn't have the strength. As for dealing with Emo Qingyun, that was Ing Wudi's decision. They couldn't do anything about it. Looking at their bitter faces, Emo Qingyun didn't want to waste time talking nonsense with them. He said coldly, Go tell Ing Wudi to get his ass out here and see me immediately. Otherwise, I'll slaughter the entire shadowless heavenly palace. Hearing Emo Qingyun's words, their faces all trembled. They all became uneasy. They didn't doubt Emo Qingyun's words at all, because Emo Qingyun really would do that. Seeing Emo Qingyun's cold expression, one of them plucked up his courage and walked up. He said, Mr. Emo, there's something you don't know. Not long before you arrived, the palace lord left the sect. I don't know where he went. Emo Qingyun frowned when he heard that. He was surprised. Ing Wudi isn't in the sect? As Emo Qingyun thought about it, he understood a little. If Ing Wudi had been in the sect, Ing Wudi would have reacted to his provocation. Seeing that Ing Wudi wasn't there, Emo Qingyun ignored him and said, In the process of fighting against the dark demon race, you have contributed greatly. I'll give you a chance to live. Now, captures with Zixiao for me. Then, tell everyone to leave, and I can spare your lives. If you don't want to leave, then don't blame me. Also, where is the Black Bear Grand Sage locked up? Bring him out to see me. Hearing Emo Qingyun's request, they looked at each other, not knowing what to do. Emo Qingyun's expression turned cold when he saw how hesitant they were. He said, If you're unwilling, then I won't trouble you. After Emo Qingyun finished speaking, he looked at Enchun and the other two. His meaning couldn't be more obvious. Seeing Emo Qingyun's actions, they didn't dare to hesitate any longer. They hurriedly said, Mr. Emo, please don't be angry. We will go now. Please wait here for a moment. They could tell that if they didn't go, Emo Qingyun would let Enchun and the other two go. When that happened, Emo Qingyun wouldn't show them any mercy. He might even attack them directly. With their strength, it was impossible for them to fight against Emo Qingyun and the other two. Seeing them leave, Emo Qingyun wasn't in a hurry. He waited in midair calmly. Not long after, Zixiao's face was full of fear as he was captured by them. As for the Black Bear Grand Sage, he had already fainted. His aura was extremely weak. Master, he has been forcefully possessed. His situation is very bad. After receiving the Black Bear Grand Sage, Enchin's expression was serious as he explained the situation to Emo Qingyun. After hearing about the Black Bear Grand Sage's situation, Emo Qingyun nodded his head and said, Protect his life first. We could talk about the rest later. Enchin nodded his head and started to treat the Black Bear Grand Sage's injuries. He stabilized his injuries and saved his life. As for Zhao Sun's, he stood guard at one side to prevent others from attacking him. You are handing me over to Emo Qingyun. I want to see the Holy Emperor Ing Wudi. Seeing that he was being escorted to Emo Qingyun, Zixiao panicked and screamed with all his might. Seeing Zixiao's actions, Emo Qingyun curled his lips in disdain and said, Look at you. The difference between you and the Holy Emperor Zhuqinglong is too big. I feel bad for him for taking a disciple like you. Also, didn't you want to take revenge on me? Why are you so scared when you see me? You're counting on Ingwudi to take revenge for you, but you don't know that he is using you as a pawn. He doesn't care about your life at all. After hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Zhuo Zixiao stood rooted to the ground in a daze. His face turned even paler. After being stunned for a short while, Zhuo Zixiao revealed a pleading expression and admitted his mistake nervously. Young Master Mo, I was wrong. You didn't kill my master. I was also bewitched by someone else. Please, for my master's sake, spare me this time, okay? Bam! Without waiting for Zhuo Zixiao to finish speaking, Mo Qingyun sent a palm strike at him, directly crippling his cultivation. After crippling Zhuo Zixiao with one palm strike, Mo Qingyun said coldly, "You should bear the consequences of your own mistakes. Now that you know to ask me to spare you, why didn't you spare old ancestor Lei Gi? When you entered the true demon palace, Lei Gi welcomed you warmly. An ungrateful person like you doesn't deserve any sympathy or forgiveness." After crippling Zhuo Zixiao, Mo Qingyun threw him into the Destiny Continent without waiting for him to speak. After dealing with Zhuo Zixiao, Mo Qingyun didn't want to stay any longer. He waved at Zhao Sunce and said, "Zhao Sunce, flatten in the shadowless heavenly palace. And Chun, take the Black Bear Grand Sage and return to the true demon palace." After hearing Mo Qingyun's words, and Chun nodded and hurriedly followed behind Mo Qingyun. When Mo Qingyun and Chun left, Zhao Sun's body moved and turned into his huge body. Then, Mo Qingyun swept his tail and flattened the shadowless heavenly palace. Seeing Zhao Sun's performance, the disciples of the shadowless heavenly palace were all stunned. In the sky above the heavenly battling hall of the four seas, Ingwudi was completely unaware of what happened in the shadowless heavenly palace. After the few of them left the shadowless heavenly palace, they came here to deal with Zhou Jing. Fourth elder, fifth elder, guard outside. Don't let Zhou Jing escape. After instructing the fourth elder and fifth elder, Ingwudi entered the four seas heavenly battling hall with the third elder. When Ingwudi arrived at the four seas heavenly battling hall, he didn't rush to make a move. Instead, he asked his disciples to send a message. In the inner hall of the four seas heavenly battling hall, Zhou Jing's brows furrowed when he heard that Ingwudi and the others had arrived. He thought to himself, "I don't have much interaction with Ingwudi. In fact, we don't get along well. For him to suddenly bring people to find me, it can't be anything good." Zhou Jing thought to himself and immediately made a decision. He said to the disciple who came to report, "Go and tell them that I'm not in the sect." After instructing his disciples, Zhou Jing's figure flashed, and he quietly left the sect. He vaguely felt that Ingwudi's visit this time might be unfavorable to him. Chapter 3095. Let's go find Mr. Mo first. We'll act after we're done talking. Coming out of the Four Seas Warring Palace, Zhou Jing didn't dare delay and immediately went to find Mo Qingyun. At this moment, he vaguely felt that Ingwudi had already set up an ambush for him. If he met Ingwudi, it was very likely that a fierce battle would break out. Now that Ingwudi was being received by his disciples, it was the best chance for him to leave. Ingwudi definitely won't give me a chance to escape this time. Guessing Ingwudi's intentions, Zhou Jing frowned. If Ingwudi kills me, he'll definitely frame Mr. Mo again and accuse Mr. Mo of a great crime. Ingwudi probably thought the same when Saint Emperor Zhuqing Long was killed, but he's more direct this time. While Zhou Jing was thinking, he turned into a streak of light and flew toward the true primordial demon palace. In his opinion, Ingwudi wouldn't dare to touch the disciples of the Four Seas Warring Palace if he didn't kill him. If he was left behind, the disciples of the Four Seas Warring Palace would be in danger. With Ingwudi's temperament, he would definitely kill him to silence him. Foreign Saint Emperor, why are you in such a hurry to go there? Sensing Zhou Jing's whereabouts, the fourth and fifth elders, who were hiding outside the Four Seas Warring Palace, immediately chased after him. Seeing the fourth and fifth elders approach, Zhou Jiying's expression shook. His eyes were filled with great shock. There are actually two Saint Emperors hiding in the dark. With Ing Wudi and another Saint Emperor, there are actually four Saint Emperors. Ing Wudi's lineup really scared Zhou Jiying. It was the first time he'd realized that Ing Wudi had hidden such a trump card. Looks like Zhuo Qinglong was really killed by Ing Wudi. He really hid it well. After learning about Ing Wudi's battle prowess, Zhou Jiying's doubts were finally resolved. He thought to himself, no wonder Ing Wudi wants to get rid of Mr. Mo. In his eyes, Mr. Mo is a thorn in his side. Only by getting rid of Mr. Mo can he become a tyrant. I have to tell Mr. Mo about this right away, so that he can be prepared. At the same time, I have to remind the others not to be fooled by invincible shadow. With that thought in mind, Zhou Jiying felt a sense of urgency, wishing that he could immediately reach the true, absolute beginning Devil Palace. However, what made Zhou Jiying anxious was that the two people behind him were getting closer and closer to him. Not only that, but with the two people's reminder, Ing Wudi and the other two also caught up. If the four of them caught up to him, he would really be dead. If this continues, they'll catch up to me sooner or later. What should I do? Seeing the four people getting closer and closer, Zhou Jiying was extremely anxious and quickly thought of a way to deal with them. Seeing that Zhou Jiying was getting closer and closer, Ing Wudi sneered proudly and said, Saint Emperor Zhou Jiying, don't make any final struggles. Just obediently wait for death. Don't worry. After you die, I'll treat your disciples well and have them take revenge on Mo Qingyan. Listening to Ing Wudi's words, it seemed that he was certain that Zhou Jiying would die today. Hearing Ing Wudi's words, Zhou Jiying's expression hardened and he said angrily, Ing Wudi, don't get too cocky. Even if I die today, it won't be at your hands. If you want to kill me, let's see if you can pay the price. As soon as Zhou Jiying finished speaking, the aura he was emitting immediately soared by several folds. Then, his flying speed increased to a whole new level. In the blink of an eye, the distance between him and Ing Wudi and the others widened. He's burning his blood qi and physical body to forcibly increase his strength. He's about to abandon this body. Hurry up and stop him. Otherwise, he'll really escape. Ing Wudi and the others were shocked when they saw Zhou Jiying's actions. They guessed Zhou Jiying's intentions. However, although they understood Zhou Jiying's intentions, no one was willing to do what he had done. The third elder, fourth elder, and fifth elder all looked displeased when they saw Ing Wudi's actions. Ing Wudi, if you don't burn your blood qi and physical body to increase your strength, that person will really escape. We won't waste any more time. Ing Wudi's face darkened when he heard their words. He was so angry that he clenched his fists tightly. He hadn't expected that Zhou Jiying would be so decisive. He hadn't even exchanged blows with them before abandoning his physical body to escape. Humph! Ing Wudi weighed the pros and cons before burning his blood qi and forcibly increasing his strength. As Ing Wudi burned his blood qi, the aura he exuded immediately increased several times. Ing Wudi's flying speed also increased greatly. He slowly closed the distance between him and Zhou Jiying. As for the three elders of the Dark Demon clan, they didn't burn their blood qi and followed unhurriedly. In their opinion, when Ing Wudi caught up with Zhou Jiying, it wouldn't be difficult to stall him for a while. By then, they would have arrived and taken care of Zhou Jiying along the way. Ing Wudi, you're indeed ruthless. Unfortunately, this alone isn't enough. Zhou Jiying laughed proudly when he saw Ing Wudi burning his blood qi. It was enough to force Ing Wudi to do this. After fleeing for a long time, Zhou Jiying's expression relaxed when the other three didn't catch up. He smiled and said, Ing Wudi, although you're ruthless, the other three aren't. If they were like you, they wouldn't have dared to burn their blood qi. It's not that I look down on you, but you alone can't keep me here. Ing Wudi grew anxious when he heard Zhou Jiying's smug words and saw that he was burning his blood qi more and more. Chasing after Zhou Jiying had caused his vitality to be greatly damaged, and this wasn't something he wanted to see. When Ing Wudi thought about it, he said angrily, Zhou Jiying, if you don't stop, I'll go back and slaughter all your people. Zhou Jing didn't care about Ingwudi's threat at all. Ingwudi, I'm not someone who can be scared. If I die, they won't be able to live either. If you want to kill me, you'd better chase after me obediently. After Zhou Jing finished speaking, he didn't waste any more words and fled at full speed toward True Absolute Beginning Devil Hall. While Zhou Jing and the rest were chasing after him, Mo Qingyun came to Light Shadow, True Heaven Palace. On the way back, he went to various sects and discovered that their sect masters weren't around. Later on, Mo Qingyun learned that they had all come to Light Shadow, True Heaven Palace, so he went there directly. When they saw Mo Qingyun's sudden arrival, the expressions of Fan Yuqin and the rest changed drastically. They were quite frightened by the situation. They hadn't expected Mo Qingyun to come at this time. Next, they looked at Lin Qingxuan, feeling that he was the one who had leaked the information. Otherwise, why would Mo Qingyun suddenly run over when they were secretly gathered here to discuss matters? Chapter 3096. You don't have to look at me like that. I don't know what's going on either. Sensing everyone's gaze, Lin Qingxuan immediately understood what they were thinking and immediately explained himself. He really had a headache now. He felt like he was a pig looking into a mirror. He was no longer human. How would he know that Mo Qingyun had come over again? When Lin Guang was taken away, he had already decided not to get involved in this matter. However, the more he wanted to stay out of it, the more he was dragged into it. This really made him feel tired. Everyone looked at each other nervously, not knowing what to do. Mo Qingyun and the other two walked into the main hall. When they saw the people sitting in the main hall, they sneered. These guys were indeed here. They seemed to be discussing something. Ingwudi is not here. That's strange. Seeing that the main instigator was not here, Mo Qingyun was a little surprised. He looked at Lin Qingxuan. Mo Qingyun felt that since Ingwudi was not in charge, Lin Qingxuan might be the one who gathered everyone. With Lin Qingxuan's position in the Anti-Demon Alliance, it would not be difficult for him to gather everyone to discuss something. Seeing Mo Qingyun's gaze, Lin Qingxuan wanted to cry. He felt extremely wronged. This had nothing to do with him. However, would Mo Qingyun believe him? Lin Qingxuan thought about it and closed his eyes. He sighed. I feel bitter. I don't want to talk anymore. It was fine if Ma Bei and the others suspected him. However, Mo Qingyun also suspected him. He was really speechless. Holy Emperor Lin Qingxuan, I came uninvited. Did I disturb you? Seeing the gloomy Lin Qingxuan, Mo Qingyun smiled and greeted him. He was even more suspicious of Lin Qingxuan. When this old man saw him, he actually closed his eyes gloomily. This was clearly a sign of guilt. If Lin Qingxuan knew what Mo Qingyun was thinking, he would probably want to cry even more. In his mind, everything he did was wrong. Everything he did would arouse suspicion. Mr. Mo, you must be joking. Lin Qingxuan laughed dryly and hurriedly waved his hand to explain. Looking at Lin Qingxuan's performance, everyone was puzzled. They didn't understand the current situation. Looking at Mo Qingyun's attitude, it seemed like he didn't have good intentions towards Lin Qingxuan. After calling out to Lin Qingxuan, Mo Qingyun looked at Ma Bei and the rest. He smiled and said, everyone is here. Are you discussing who to deal with? Don't tell me you're discussing how to deal with me. Your current actions make me feel as if I'm part of the dark demon race. Mo Qingyun's teasing made Ma Bei and the others tense up. Their expressions were uncertain. At the same time, they were also on guard against Mo Qingyun's sudden attack. Mo Qingyun waved his hand with a faint smile when he saw how cautious everyone was. He said, "There's no need to be so nervous. I'm just passing by, so I came to greet Saint Emperor Lin Qingxuan. In 3 days, I will publicly deal with Zhuo Zixiao and the rest in the True Demon Hall. I'll let him collect Lin Guang's corpse. Of course, if you're willing to come and collect the corpses of your own disciples, I won't mind either." Ma Bei and the others' faces darkened when they heard Mo Qingyun's words. They were slightly angered. Mo Qingyun's words were too arrogant. Mo Qingyun wanted to kill their disciples and actually notified them in front of their faces. This was even more overboard than a normal provocation. Mo Qingyun smiled faintly when he saw that everyone was angry but didn't say anything. Everyone, we've known each other for a while. If you have anything to say, just say it. If you want to take revenge, you could do it openly. There's no need to be so secretive. Lastly, I'd like to remind all of you to keep a distance from Ingwudi in case it's too late for regrets. After Mo Qingyun finished speaking, he ignored everyone and turned to walk out of the hall. Soon, Mo Qingyun and the other two flew into the air and disappeared from everyone's sight. Lin Qingxuan and the others only breathed a sigh of relief when they saw Mo Qingyun and the other two leave. Their tense expressions relaxed a little. I realized that the pressure when facing Mo Qingyun is actually so great. This fierce tiger has grown claws and fangs. With our strength, I'm afraid we really can't fight him. But I'm really unwilling to give up just like that. After confronting Mo Qingyun for a while, everyone was both fearful and unwilling. Looking at the people before him, Lin Qingxuan sighed and said, "Everyone, we've known each other for a while. I sincerely advise all of you to end this matter here." Mo Qingyun's warning is right. It's best that we don't get involved in Ingwudi's personal feud with him. It's only been a few days, and we've already lost our loved ones. If we continue to get involved, we might all be implicated. Hearing Lin Qingxuan's advice, Ma Bei and the others had complicated expressions, and no one spoke for a while. Everyone was silent for a while. They did not continue to stay and bid farewell to Lin Qingxuan. They knew very well that there was no point in continuing the discussion. Sigh, it seems that many people will have to die before this battle ends. After Ma Bei and the others left, Lin Qingxuan sighed and said with emotion, "I hope that the number of deaths caused by this battle will not be as disastrous as the battle against the dark demon race." After Lin Qingxuan's words, he shook his head and left the hall. On the other side, Zhou Jing's bloodline and physical body were burning more and more fiercely as he fled for his life. It seemed that he could not hold on any longer. Seeing Zhou Jing's situation, Ingwudi smiled coldly and said, "Zhou Jing, you're already at the end of your rope. Don't make any pointless struggles." Seeing that Zhou Jing couldn't hold on any longer, Ingwudi's heart relaxed a little. If Zhou Jing had held on for a while longer, he was afraid that he would not have been able to hold on. If he continued the chase, his foundation would be damaged, and it would be the kind that could not be recovered. That kind of result was not something he was willing to accept. I've only burned my bloodline and physical body. I still have my Yuan spirit to burn. Zhou Jing also threw caution to the wind and swore that he would not submit to Ingwudi. With a crazed expression, he said, "Ingwudi, if you have the ability, burn your Yuan spirit like me. Perhaps you still have hope of catching up to me." At this moment, Zhou Jing passed through Star Domain barrier as he spoke. Zhou Jing smiled wildly as soon as he passed through. "Ingwudi, it seems that you have no chance to kill me. I've already entered the absolute beginning Star Domain. As long as I can hold on for a while longer, I can reach the absolute beginning Demon Palace." Zhou Jing's smile became even brighter as soon as he finished speaking. Ingwudi's face was ashen when he heard Zhou Jing's words. He clenched his fists in anger. What frightened Ingwudi even more was that he saw three familiar figures not far away. That's right, the three figures he saw were Mo Qingyun and the others who had rushed back to the absolute beginning Demon Palace. End of chapter. Chapter 3097. Why is Mo Qingyun here? Why is he like this? Seeing Mo Qingyun and the others not far away, Ingwudi was so angry that he almost vomited blood. It was as if a rock was stuck in his chest. He had run into Mo Qingyun and the others at this critical moment. His luck was really terrible. Compared to Ingwudi's gloomy mood, Zhou Jing was overjoyed. He laughed heartily and said, "Ingwudi, should I say that you're unlucky? Or should I say that you're suffering from the plague? I didn't expect to run into Mr. Mo and the others as soon as I entered the Tai Chu Star Realm. If that's the case, it's probably impossible for you to kill me." After saying this, Zhou Jing's figure flashed, and flew toward Mo Qingyun and the others. He laughed and said, "Mr. Mo, Holy Emperor Darkstar, Holy Emperor Zhao Sans, what a coincidence. I didn't expect to run into you here." Seeing Zhou Ziying's actions, Ing Wudi's expression darkened. He snorted coldly and said, "Humph, you're lucky this time. I'll definitely kill you next time." Ing Wudi didn't hesitate. He turned around and left after saying this angrily. He had no choice. He had burned his bloodline all the way and only had 60% of his strength left. If he was surrounded by Mo Qingyun and the other two, he would be dead for sure. Others might not dare to kill him, but Mo Qingyun definitely would. There was no doubt about that. Seeing Zhou Jing fly toward him, Mo Qingyun was shocked. "Senior Zhou, it's you. What a coincidence." After greeting Zhou Jing, Mo Qingyun frowned. He realized that something was wrong with Zhou Jing. Zhou Jing's bloodline and physical body had already been destroyed. After learning about Zhou Jing's situation, Mo Qingyun's expression became nervous. He said, "Senior Zhou, what happened to you? Who severely injured you? Who completely destroyed your physical body?" Ing Wudi had fled far away, so Mo Qingyun didn't notice him. Hearing Mo Qingyun's question, Zhou Jing smiled faintly and waved his hand. He said, "Don't worry. My physical body wasn't destroyed by anyone. I burned my bloodline and body to escape from Ing Wudi." Mo Qingyun's expression shook as a look of shock appeared on his face. Ing Wudi actually chased after Zhou Jing and even forced Zhou Jing to abandon his corporeal body. This was an incredible matter. Before Mo Qingyun asked a question, Zhou Jing continued. "I finally understand how Holy Emperor Zhuqing Long was killed. Please tell me." Mo Qingyun's expression turned nervous as he looked at Zhou Jing. Zhou Jing took a deep breath and calmed himself down. He said, "Not long ago, Ing Wudi brought a Saint Emperor to the Four Seas Battle Heavens Hall to find me. I was worried that he would do something to me, so I took the opportunity when he wasn't paying attention and slipped out of the sect. Who would have thought that I would be intercepted by two holy emperors as soon as I snuck out of the sect? They were also brought by Ing Wudi and had been lying in wait outside the sect to prevent me from escaping. I noticed the two of them approaching and immediately turned to flee. They didn't chase me for long before Ing Wudi caught up as well. I had no choice but to burn my bloodline and body in the face of the four of them. When Ing Wudi saw me burning my bloodline and body to escape, he also burned his bloodline and chased after me in a panic. Who would have thought that I would run into the three of you as soon as I arrived in the Tai Chu starfield? You scared Ing Wudi away. That guy's luck is really bad." After hearing Zhou Jing's story, Mo Qingyun and the others all took a deep breath. They were worried for Zhou Jing. If Zhou Jing hadn't chickened out, he probably would have died at Ing Wudi's hands. "You've done too many bad things. How can you be so lucky?" Mo Qingyun smiled faintly and teased Zhou Jing. Then, he showed a concerned expression. "Senior Zhou, your body has been destroyed, and you're being watched by Ing Wudi and the others. You're in an extremely dangerous situation. Why don't you stay in the Tai Chu True Demon Palace for now?" Hearing Mo Qingyun's invitation, Zhou Jing nodded gratefully and smiled easily. "Mr. Mo is still the most reliable. Looks like I made the right bet this time." Mo Qingyun smiled faintly and didn't say anything. Then, Mo Qingyun and the others hurried back to the Tai Chu True Demon Palace with Zhou Jing. On the way back to the True Absolute Beginning Devil Hall, Zhou Jing revealed a rejoicing expression and said, "Fortunately, I was lucky this time and escaped with my life from Ing Wudi. Otherwise, when they kill me, I'm afraid I'll fall to you again." At that time, Lin Qingxuan and the others will be fooled again and probably see you as an enemy. If you fight with Lin Qingxuan and the others, you'll fall into Ing Wudi's trap and let him reap the benefits. Mo Qingyun nodded with a faint smile at Zhou Jing's analysis. He felt that Zhou Jing's analysis was very correct. Ing Wudi had probably used this as a pretext to make a fuss before. As he talked with Zhou Jing, some doubts arose in Mo Qingyun's heart again. "From what you said before, the Saint Emperors with Ing Wudi shouldn't be his subordinates. Since they're not Ingwudi's subordinates, they must be the subordinates of the Dark Demon Saint Emperors. If they're from the Dark Demon race, why didn't they do anything when we broke into their nest? Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Zhou Jiying and the others were confused as well. They didn't understand where they'd gone wrong. Zhao Sun's thought for a moment and said, "That might be the case. The Dark Demon race is divided into two branches, just like the intelligent demons and the barbarian demons. The two branches don't get along well. They even want to eliminate each other. Therefore, the Sacred Master's branch didn't care at all when the Blood Kaiser's branch was destroyed." After hearing Zhao Sun's words, Mo Qingyun and the others' eyes lit up and they all nodded in agreement. Zhao Sun's analysis was very reasonable. That was very likely the case. After thinking about it, Mo Qingyun's expression became grave. If Zhao Sun's guess is correct, the Sacred Master's branch might not be weaker than the Blood Kaiser's branch. They might even be slightly stronger. The Sacred Master's branch of the Dark Demon race didn't do anything before. They probably didn't want to attract too much attention and make people overlook their existence. This way, their Sacred Master wouldn't be affected at all when he tried to break through to the peak of the Great Emperor realm. If that's the case, they're attacking so frequently now because they don't have to worry about this. Does that mean their Sacred Master has broken through to the peak of the Great Emperor realm? After hearing Mo Qingyun's analysis, his expression became even more grave as he frowned. If that was the case, the situation was very bad. Although the absolute beginning Demon Hall's current strength was above any other force, it was still a Great Emperor realm expert. No matter how many great emperors, great sages, and sacred emperors there were, it was useless against a Sacred Master who had broken through to the Great Emperor realm. After hearing Mo Qingyun's analysis, Zhao Sun's and the others' expressions became grave. The situation wasn't optimistic. This was a real crisis. Chapter 3098. Ingwudi didn't pursue Zhou Jiying. Instead, he retraced his steps and met up with the Third Elder and the others. He didn't want the Third Elder and the others to stumble into the Tai Chu Star realm and run into Mo Qingyun and the others. Although the Third Elder and the others were powerful, it was hard to say who would win if they ran into Mo Qingyun and the others. After flying for a while, Ingwudi encountered the Third Elder and the others, and he looked at them with displeasure in his eyes. If the three of them had also ignited their bloodlines, they would definitely have been able to catch up to Zhou Jiying. Have you taken care of that person? Sensing Zhou Jiying's gaze, the Third Elder unhappily inquired about the situation of the pursuit. Ingwudi shook his head. "I ran into Mo Qingyun and the others when I entered the Tai Chu Star realm, so I had no choice but to retreat." The Third Elder's expression darkened when he learned about the situation from Ingwudi. Ingwudi hadn't been able to catch up to Zhou Jiying, and Zhou Jiying had managed to survive. "Ingwudi, what did you do? How could you let that person escape? If you had ignited your bloodline as well, you would definitely have been able to catch up to him. As long as you could hold him off for a while, we would have been able to take care of him. Now that he's alive, we'll definitely be exposed. What do you think we should do now? If you delay the Holy Leader's breakthrough because of this, you'll be punished." The three of them were displeased to see Zhou Jiying escape. Facing the three's reprimand, although Ingwudi was very angry, he did not refute. He hadn't set up Zhou Xiang to take care of Zhou Jiying, and all kinds of unforeseen events had occurred. "I was negligent this time, and I'm willing to take some responsibility." Ingwudi was straightforward and did not shirk responsibility. He readily admitted his mistake and said, "Based on the current situation, we only have two choices." "What options?" the Third Elder asked. Ingwudi replied, "The first option is to call back all of our people as soon as possible before the Holy Leader makes a breakthrough. We'll enter a small world and wait for the Holy Leader to make a breakthrough before we launch a counterattack. The other option is to take advantage of the fact that Mo Qingyun hasn't reacted yet to immediately head to the various major powers and take control of their sections. Let's use these people to deal with Mo Qingyun first. We can use this to stall for time and give the Sacred Lord enough time to cultivate and break through. Listening to Ing Wudi's explanation, third elder and the others nodded in agreement, even though they were dissatisfied with him. Ing Wudi's analysis was indeed very reasonable. Seeing that everyone was silent and contemplative, Ing Wudi continued, "Actually, I don't recommend going into hibernation. If we choose to go into hibernation, it means that we have lost contact with the outside world, which means that there is no continuation of our bloodline. In that case, other than the sacred leader who doesn't need any cultivation resources to break through the limits of the great emperor realm, no one else will be able to cultivate." When Ing Wudi mentioned this drawback, the expressions of the third elder and the others darkened. Third elder thought for a moment and took out a soul blood rune. "I'll discuss it with first elder and see what he thinks before we make the final decision." Ing Wudi nodded when he heard third elder's words. "This is a matter of great importance. We can't make a decision on our own. We do need to discuss it with the clan." Condensed Saint Force shot out of third elder's hand and into the soul blood rune. Soon, an illusory blood-red figure floated out of the rune. Looking at Ing Wudi and the others, the blood-red figure's eyes shone brightly. He exuded a dignified aura and said, "Luocheng, why are you looking for me? Did you run into trouble outside the clan?" With the elder's eyesight, he could naturally see that Ing Wudi and the others were in trouble. Seeing that first elder had seen through it, Ing Luocheng didn't hide it and nodded. "We did run into trouble. Earlier, when we were helping Ing Wudi to hunt down an outside Saint Emperor, something happened along the way. They were lucky enough to escape. Now that they've escaped, our existence will definitely be exposed. We're worried that they'll discover us and follow the clues to our miniature world. Now that Saint Lord is at a critical moment in his cultivation, it'll be troublesome if they attack the miniature world and affect Saint Lord's cultivation." The Grand Elder frowned when he heard Ing Luocheng's explanation. He became worried as well. "This matter is indeed very troublesome. You have to deal with it carefully. You seem to have come up with a solution. Tell me about it." Ing Luocheng nodded. "The four of us discussed and came up with two options. The first is to call back all our clansmen and lay low for a short period of time until Saint Lord breaks through. But if we choose to lay low, there'll be two problems. The first is that the ordinary clansmen won't be able to cultivate for a short period of time because they won't have any cultivation resources. The second problem is the mixed blood descendants. They'll go out of control and become a huge problem. As for the second option, we can immediately go to the major forces and take control of them before they know the news and are unprepared. We'll control these people and factions and let them deal with the true Demon Hall. Mo Qingyun won't have time to take care of us then." After Ing Luocheng finished speaking, he lifted his head and looked at the Great Elder, waiting for his decision. First Elder thought for a bit and came to a decision. "The first option is too passive, and it's easy for unforeseen circumstances to occur. Follow the second option, but don't let any more unforeseen circumstances occur. If any more unforeseen circumstances occur, don't come back. Whether you can survive until Saint Lord breaks through will depend on your luck." When they heard First Elder's warning, the four of them immediately nodded solemnly. First Elder made the choice for the four of them and returned to the Spirit Blood Talisman in a flash. Once the First Elder was gone, the Third Elder glared at Ing Wudi with displeasure in his eyes. It was all this guy's fault that they were all in trouble. After glaring at Ing Wudi, Third Elder said coldly, "Ing Wudi, lead the way for us." Seeing the look in their eyes, Ing Wudi knew what they were thinking. He didn't say anything more and directly led the way. Not long after, Mo Qingyun and the other three returned to the True Demon Hall. "Father-in-law, make the arrangements and bring Senior Zhou to heal." After Mo Qingyun answered the True Demon Hall, he gathered everyone and instructed Lei Haoshuan. Lei Haoshuan nodded at Mo Qingyun's instructions and brought Zhou Jing to heal. After Lei Haoshuan and Lei Haoshuan left, Mo Qingyun continued, "Muin and Chun, Zhao Sun's, Yin Luo, come with me to discuss with the Luai's Ice Phoenix." After hearing Mo Qingyun's instructions, Lei Muin and the others hurriedly followed and rushed to the Jadefall Lake. In order to prevent a sudden attack from the Saint Lord, he wanted to discuss with everyone how to deal with a Heaven General powerhouse. End of chapter. Chapter 30-99. Azure Frost Lake. The Luai's Ice Phoenix sensed the arrival of Mo, Qingyun, and the others. Young friend, you seem to have something important to discuss with me? The Luai's Ice Phoenix sensed that something was amiss when it saw Mo, Qingyun, and the others coming to find it. Hearing the Luai's Ice Phoenix's question, Mo, Qingyun nodded and said, "Enchun, Zhao Suns, Yin Luo, Senior Luai's Ice Phoenix, you all are experienced and knowledgeable. Do you have any way to fight against a Heaven General in the Heavenly Soldier Realm?" Hearing Mo Qingyun's question, Enchun, Zhao Suns, and Yin Luo's expressions didn't change much. However, the Luai's Ice Phoenix's eyes flashed with surprise, and he couldn't help but take a few more glances at Mo Qingyun. Looking at his reaction, it seemed like he didn't know what the Heavenly Soldier Realm and Heavenly General Realm were, but he was also surprised that Mo Qingyun knew about it. After sizing up Mo Qingyun for a while, the Luai's Ice Phoenix withdrew its gaze and looked pensive. Mo Qingyun didn't care about the Luai's Ice Phoenix's reaction. He smiled faintly and looked at them. Yin Luo thought for a while and broke the silence. Actually, those who have just entered the Heaven General Realm are not necessarily powerful. Many people at the peak of the Heavenly Soldier Realm can defeat early Heaven General Realm experts. If I'm at the peak of the Heavenly Soldier Realm, I can easily defeat early Heaven General Realm experts. After Yin Luo finished speaking, she turned to look at Enchun, Zhao Suns, and the Luai's Ice Phoenix. Her meaning couldn't be more obvious. Under Yin Luo's gaze, Enchun and the others laughed awkwardly. Now, if they said that they couldn't do it, wouldn't it be a little embarrassing? Zhao Suns coughed and said, "I've just reincarnated and am still not used to my body. Moreover, I feel that part of my memory is missing. When I fight with others, I feel that I can't use my strength perfectly." Hearing Zhao Sun's words, the Luai's Ice Phoenix's eyes trembled. She looked at Zhao Suns in shock and said, "That's right, I have the same feeling. I keep feeling like I've lost part of my memories. It's because I'm missing that part that I can't perfectly adapt to this body." Mo Qingyun nodded in understanding as he listened to Zhao Sun's words. His guess was confirmed. Just as he had guessed, those who had been reborn through the gate of reincarnation would lose some of the things from their previous lives. Looking at the two of them, Mo Qingyun said, "You don't have to be surprised. Although the gate of reincarnation can allow you to reincarnate, the foundation of your reincarnation is a remnant soul. Therefore, losing some things is unavoidable. After that, if you want to fully adapt to it, you will need to continue cultivating and comprehending, making up for and perfecting yourself bit by bit." After Mo Qingyun's explanation, Zhao Suns immediately had a clear answer to his confusion. After explaining to the two of them, Mo Qingyun waved his hand and said, "Let's not talk about this for now. Let's talk about how to deal with the Dark Demon race's Sacred Lord first." Seeing Mo Qingyun change the topic, everyone stopped talking about reincarnation and looked at Chun. However, Yin Luo, Zhao Suns, and the Luai's Ice Phoenix looked at Enchun with complicated gazes. Others might not be able to understand the hidden meaning in their gazes, but Enchun couldn't. The three of them were hinting to him that Yin Luo's cultivation wasn't enough to fight against a Heaven General. Because Zhao Suns and the Luai's Ice Phoenix had been reborn, they had lost some of their origins from their previous lives. They couldn't use their full strength, so it would be difficult for them to fight against a Heaven General. Enchun, you didn't just break through, nor did you reincarnate. Why can't you fight against a Heaven General? After understanding what the three of them meant, Enchun coughed awkwardly and said, "Heaven Soldier Realm cultivators can comprehend a trace of the power of laws and use the basic laws. A Heaven General's use of the laws is at a higher level. They can transform the laws into supernatural powers and weapons at will. If they don't condense the laws, a Heaven General is nothing to be afraid of." Zhao Suns and the others nodded in agreement with Enchun's analysis. This was the power of a Heaven General. Listening to the three of them talk, Mo Qingyun frowned and suddenly had an idea. Immediately, Mo Qingyun raised his hand and took out an ancient longsword. The sword that Mo Qingyun took out was the divine weapon that he had always used, the divine nine oxen sword. After being forged by Mo Qingyun many times, the current divine nine oxen sword had become completely different. Now, the divine nine oxen sword's brilliance was restrained, and its aura was heavy. It was like a divine ox that was ready to attack, emitting a terrifying aura. This is my weapon, the divine nine oxen sword. Every time it levels up, it will gain a supernatural power. After the previous few upgrades, it possessed the power to break through space-time laws. If it levels up again, it might be able to break through the formation of the laws. After taking out the divine nine oxen sword, Mo Qingyun briefly explained his thoughts to Mo Qingyun. Yun Luo frowned thoughtfully as she looked at the divine nine oxen sword before her. When he saw Yun Luo's reaction, Mo Qingyun became curious and asked, Yun Luo, what have you discovered? Why don't you tell me? When she heard Mo Qingyun's question, Yun Luo pursed her lips and pondered for a while before replying. I think I've seen the forging method of this sword in the clan. It seems to be the forging method of the divine Ox Guardian sword in the 12 divine Swords Forging Manual. As soon as she said that, she raised her right hand and a snow-colored longsword appeared in her hand. When Yun Luo took out the longsword, she said, the sword in my hand was forged according to the forging method of the divine rabbit nimble sword in the 12 divine Swords Forging Manual. This divine sword is of the same grade as yours, 5th grade. When they saw the sword that Yun Luo had taken out, Mo Qingyun and the others looked at it curiously and carefully. After some observation, Mo Qingyun discovered that there were indeed some similarities between the two swords. When he thought of that, Mo Qingyun stopped thinking about it and explained the incantation of the nine-directional divine ox sword technique to them. After he finished explaining the nine-directional divine ox sword technique, Mo Qingyun said, Yun Luo, is this incantation the same as the forging method of the divine Ox Guardian sword in the 12 divine Swords Forging Manual? Yun Luo shook her head and said, it's not exactly the same, but it's generally close. I'm sure that your nine-directional godly bull sword technique was modified according to the 12 godly swords forging Bible when forging the godly bull guardian sword. If that's the case, if we continue forging according to this incantation, we might really reap great benefits. When they heard Yun Luo's words, Mo Qingyun and the others were delighted and expectant. If everything went smoothly, they would have a way to deal with the Dark Demon Clan's Holy Lord, even if he was a heavenly general. Chapter 3100. Although forging the Nine-Bull Divine Sword is one way, we can't rely on alone. After calming himself down, Mo Qingyun turned to Enchun and the others and said, besides, even if we raise the grade of the Nine-Bull Divine Sword and obtain the ability to break through nomological laws, we might not be able to contend against the Dark Demon Sacred Master. Therefore, it would be best to have a Sky General Powerhouse overseeing the situation if we want to be absolutely safe. Xianyang, Leifeng, you have just been reincarnated and are still some distance away from breaking through to the Sky General grade. I'm afraid you won't be able to break through in a short time. In that case, the task of breaking through to the Sky General grade will fall to Enchun. Enchun, you should focus on cultivating in seclusion and try to break through to the Sky General grade as soon as possible. Enchun should focus on breaking through to the Sky General grade. The rest of us will be tasked with raising the grade of the Nine-Bull Divine Sword. Everyone nodded in agreement as they listened to Mo Qingyun's instructions and assignments. They were all thinking about how to complete the task. After assigning the tasks, Mo Qingyun turned to Lei Muin and said, Muin, pass down the order immediately. Get them to gather these refining materials. Origin Underworld Stone, 100-million year Old Scorching Flame Iron Essence, Sky General Intent Origin Source. When Mo Qingyun listed all sorts of materials, Lei Muin and the others were dumbfounded and had complicated expressions on their faces. Every single one of the materials that Mo Qingyun mentioned was extremely rare. Some were even impossible to obtain. For example, the Sky General Intent origin source was the foundation of a Sky General powerhouse. If one wanted to obtain the Sky General Intent origin source, they would have to kill a Sky General powerhouse or obtain the inheritance of a Sky General powerhouse. If they could kill a Sky General powerhouse, why would Mo Qingyun need to fear the Dark Demon Sacred Master? As for obtaining the inheritance of a Sky General, that was even more unrealistic. Had there ever been a Sky General powerhouse among the Celestial Domain grades? It seems like I have to make another trip to the Sky Realm and ask Big Brother Chu for help. Mo Qingyun thought that if Chu Jiangshao was willing to help, there wouldn't be any difficulty. As for asking Yin Luo's clansmen for help, he didn't consider it as it might cause unnecessary trouble. Putting aside whether or not the other party was willing to help, the origin of his 9 Directions Divine Bullsword technique was a huge problem. Now that the situation is urgent, we have to hurry. After assigning tasks to everyone, Mo Qingyun prepared to leave immediately. He said, Yin Luo and I will think of a way to find the source of the heavenly general concept. I'm going to the heaven realm to try my luck. As for the other materials, I'll leave them to you. If there are any difficulties, wait for me to return. After listening to Mo Qingyun's instructions, everyone nodded and began to split up. After sending Mo Qingyun to the exit of the true absolute beginning Devil Hall, Lei Muin's face revealed concern. Qingyun, if you go to the heaven realm now, what about killings with Zixiao and the others? They've discovered that you're not in the sect, and there's no one to intimidate them. They'll probably take the chance to cause trouble. Mo Qingyun nodded and felt that Lei Muin's considerations made sense. He thought about it and said, I've created a few clones before. Although a few were destroyed, there's still one left. I'll leave it in the sect, and it should be able to intimidate them. Hearing Mo Qingyun's thoughts, Lei Muin smiled and nodded. Although it wasn't his true body, a clone should be able to intimidate them. Then, Mo Qingyun waved his right hand and summoned Mo. After so many years of cultivation, although Mo's progress wasn't as good as Mo Qingyun's, he was still half-sector Lord Realm. I'm leaving. After summoning Mo Qingyun and giving him some instructions, Mo Qingyun turned to leave. Looking at Mo Qingyun's back, Lei Muin revealed a resolute expression and said, Qingyun, be careful when you head to Heaven Realm. Don't worry about the sect. I'll take care of it. Light Shadow, True Heaven Palace. Under Wudi's lead, the 4 of them arrived, and their auras suppressed the entire Light Shadow, True Heaven Palace. The auras of Wudi and the other 3 came over, and the disciples of Light Shadow, True Heaven Palace were quite frightened. All of them were extremely gloomy. What was going on recently? Why were there people invading one after another? What was even more crucial was that the people who had come to cause trouble were all top-notch practitioners. This is indeed an eventful time. Feeling the auras of Wudi and the other 3, Lin Qingshuan sighed and flew out with a heavy expression. Soon, he saw Wudi and the other 3. An intense astonishment appeared on his face. He had thought that Mo Qingyun had brought people over again, but he didn't expect it to be Wudi. Why is it Wudi? Lin Qingshuan felt that in the current star domain, only true Primordium Devil Hall had so many Saint Emperors. Realizing that it was Wudi and the other 3, Lin Qingshuan's expression trembled, and his heart skipped a beat. I didn't expect there to be 3 Saint Emperors by Wudi's side. This fellow has hidden himself quite well. This means that Mo Qingyun isn't the only one who has the ability to kill Saint Emperor Zhuo Qinglong. No wonder Mr. Mo told us to keep a distance from Wudi when he left last time. Looks like we've wronged Mo Qingyun. When Lin Qingshuan thought of this, he felt a sense of regret. He had accidentally fallen into Wudi's trap. While Lin Qingshuan was feeling vexed, he also showed anger on his face. He glared fiercely at Wudi and said, Wudi, So it was you who killed Saint Emperor Zhuqing Long and purposely framed Mr. Mo to cause conflict between us and Mr. Mo so that you could benefit from it. You despicable and shameless person, we've all misjudged you. You won't have a good ending for doing this. Ing Wudi didn't care about Lin Qingxuan's anger at all. A cold smile appeared at the corner of his mouth. Lin Qingxuan, we can be considered acquaintances, so I'll give you a chance to live. Let me break through the blood slave seal, and you'll listen to our orders from now on, and I'll spare your lives. Hearing Ing Wudi's words, Lin Qingxuan clenched his fists tightly. He was so angry that his face turned ashen, and he gritted his teeth. Even Mo Qingyun hadn't asked him to do that in his anger. In comparison, Ing Wudi had gone overboard. He was the true devil. Don't even think about it. Lin Qingxuan snorted coldly, with an unyielding expression. Seeing Lin Qingxuan's attitude, Ing Wudi didn't waste his breath and said coldly, 3 elders, let's attack together and quickly wipe out Light Shadow, True Heaven Palace, so that we can go to the next place. Hearing Ing Wudi's words, Ing Luocheng and the other 2 didn't hesitate and immediately attacked Lin Qingxuan and the rest. Bang, bang, bang. In the blink of an eye, a large number of disciples in Light Shadow, True Heaven Palace died under the 4 people's hands. When he saw the actions of Ing Wudi and the rest, Lin Qingxuan instantly flew into a rage and pounced on Ing Wudi. Ing Wudi was simply inhumane. To force him to submit, he had actually laid his hands on ordinary disciples. Such actions and methods were simply too despicable. Chapter 3101. Lin Qingxuan, you still had some strength when you were at your peak. You're not worth mentioning now. Ing Wudi was not afraid of Lin Qingxuan's attack. He took the initiative to meet him. Even if my bloodline is severely damaged, it's still not difficult for me to deal with the heavily injured you. The moment he saw Lin Qingxuan, Ing Wudi discovered that Lin Qingxuan was heavily injured. Lin Qingxuan's face darkened when he heard Ing Wudi's arrogant words. He yelled, Ing Wudi, don't get too cocky. Even if I'm not your opponent, I'll make you pay the price. As Lin Qingxuan spoke, he attacked even more viciously. He looked like he was going to put his life on the line against Ing Wudi. As Lin Qingxuan put his life on the line, some fear appeared on Ing Wudi's face. Although Lin Qingxuan was heavily injured, he was still a peak Saint Emperor after all. If he really put his life on the line, it was still very terrifying. Even if Ing Wudi killed him, he would have to pay a heavy price. That kind of price wasn't something Invincible Shadow could afford, nor was it something he wanted. Under Lin Qingxuan's desperate attacks, Ing Wudi was forced to retreat. He yelled to the 3rd elder, 3rd elder, help me. Let's work together to suppress him. Hearing Ing Wudi's request for help, Lin Qingxuan showed disdain. Ing Wudi, is that all you've got? Do you only know how to bully others with numbers? Ing Wudi did not care about Lin Qingxuan's mockery at all. It was as if he had not heard it. Ing Wudi did not care, but Ing Luocheng, who had come to help him, reacted. Ing Wudi, you're really getting more and more useless. Not only did you let him escape, but now you need someone else's help to deal with a heavily injured Saint Emperor. Hearing Ing Luocheng's words, Ing Wudi's expression changed slightly. He was faintly displeased. Ing Luocheng and the others were getting more and more out of hand. They were becoming more and more disrespectful to him, mocking him again and again. Ing Wudi clenched his teeth and suppressed his anger. He glanced at Ing Luocheng and said nothing. Once he dealt with the matter at hand, he would definitely take care of these 3 if he had the chance in the future. With the addition of Shadow Luo City into the battle, Lin Qingxuan's situation immediately took a turn for the worse, falling into a perilous situation. Not only that, but the people of Light Shadow, True Heaven Palace on the other side were also killed one after another under the joint efforts of 4th Elder and 5th Elder. Seeing his disciples being killed one after another, Lin Qingxuan's face grew uglier and uglier, and the anger in his heart grew stronger and stronger. If this continued, it wouldn't take long for Light Shadow, True Heaven Palace to be wiped out. When Lin Qingxuan thought of this, he could no longer remain calm. He said coldly, Ing Wudi, tell them to stop immediately. I will submit to you. Hearing Lin Qingshuan's words, Ing Wudi stopped attacking. A cold smile appeared on his face. He said, Lin Qingshuan, a wise man submits to circumstances. You really didn't disappoint me. As Ing Wudi spoke, he signaled Ing Luocheng and the others to stop attacking. The goal of Ing Wudi and the rest wasn't to exterminate Light Shadow, true Heaven Palace, but to make Lin Qingshuan and the rest work for him. Palace Master, don't submit to them. We're not afraid of death. We'd rather die than submit. These vicious devils, even if you submit to them, they won't let us off. Ing Wudi, I'll fight it out with you. We were all wrong. We shouldn't have doubted Mr. Mo. Could this be retribution? When they saw Lin Qingshuan's actions, the people of Light Shadow, true Heaven Palace, all revealed unwilling expressions. However, their objections didn't have any effect. On the contrary, those who spoke out died under Ing Luocheng's hands. Stop! Lin Qingshuan shouted angrily when he saw the actions of Ing Luocheng and the rest, stopping them from attacking. Ing Wudi didn't care about Lin Qingshuan's anger at all. A cold smile hung on his lips as he said, Lin Qingshuan, don't waste time. Quickly let go of your primordial spirit, and let me plant a blood slave imprint. All right. Lin Qingshuan gritted his teeth and let go of his primordial spirit. Next, the blood slave imprint was planted in Lin Qingshuan's primordial spirit. After planting the blood slave imprint on Lin Qingshuan, Ing Wudi nodded in satisfaction and said, Tidy up Light Shadow, true Heaven Palace, and wait for my instructions in the sect. Yes. Lin Qingshuan nodded respectfully. Seeing that Lin Qingshuan had been subdued, Ing Wudi and the rest didn't stay any longer and left Light Shadow, true Heaven Palace. Looking at Ing Wudi and the rest leaving, Lin Qingshuan revealed a sorrowful expression and said to an elder, Elder Lin Mu, let everyone leave. From today onwards, there will be no more Light Shadow, true Heaven Palace. Hearing Lin Qingshuan's words, Lin Mu's old face trembled, and he cried out in astonishment, Palace Master, you want to disband Light Shadow, true Heaven Palace? If we leave, Ing Wudi probably won't let you off. Seeing that his thoughts were seen through by the elder, Lin Qingshuan didn't deny it and said, If my guess isn't wrong, Ing Wudi has subdued us to deal with Mo Qingyun. If you all stay behind, you will definitely die in the battle with Mo Qingyun. Mo Qingyun said coldly. After hearing Lin Qingshuan's words, the elder revealed a moved expression and said, Palace Master, don't worry. We aren't people who are afraid of death. Even if we die on the front lines in the future, we definitely won't leave today. The other people also heard Lin Qingshuan and Yun Wudi's discussion and immediately shouted, We swear on life and death. We swear on life and death. Resounding voices came from the mouths of the people of Light Shadow, true Heaven Palace. Looking at these people's reactions, Lin Qingshuan revealed a touched expression and said, Everyone, it's all my fault for being useless and causing you to be implicated. If there is an afterlife, I will repay your kindness. Since things have come to this, I will do my best to protect all of your lives. After Lin Qingshuan finished speaking, he began to reorganize his people and wait for Ing Wudi's instructions. Mo Qingyun didn't know about the change in Light Shadow, true Heaven Palace. He left with Yin Luo and came to the crack in space. We've angered that barbarian demon a few times in a row. It might be even more dangerous this time. Looking at the crack in space in front of him, Mo Qingyun couldn't help sighing. His mood became tense as he said, Let's go in. I hope that barbarian demon won't be nearby when we enter the heaven realm this time. Once Mo Qingyun finished speaking, he took out heaven-sealing purple thunderbell and covered himself and Yin Luo. Immediately after, Mo Qingyun controlled heaven-sealing purple thunderbell and entered the crack in space. Entering the crack in space again, Mo Qingyun could be said to be familiar with the place and soon found the gap in the heaven realm. After finding the gap in the crack to enter the heaven realm, Mo Qingyun didn't stop and directly controlled heaven-sealing purple thunderbell to enter. When Mo Qingyun controlled heaven-sealing purple thunderbell to enter the heaven realm through the crack in space, He was completely dumbfounded. He saw a huge object lying quietly in front of the crack in space. End of this chapter. Chapter 3102. That's the dragon claw fierce sun leopard. It was actually waiting for us here? Looking at the huge creature in front of her, Yin Luo's face was filled with shock as she recognized it. She really did not expect that the dragon claw fierce sun leopard that chased after them last time was actually blocking the spatial crack. This was quite deceptive. Seeing Mo Qingyun and Yin Luo appear, the dragon claw fierce sun leopard coldly shouted, "Little brat, you really came. Run." Seeing the dragon claw fierce sun leopard, Mo Qingyun did not hesitate and controlled the heaven-sealing purple lightning bell to escape. While Mo Qingyun was escaping, he did not forget to tell Yin Luo, prepare your trump card. If it catches up to you, use your trump card to attack it. Okay. Hearing Mo Qingyun's instructions, Yin Luo nodded and her pretty face tightened. Immediately after, Yin Luo raised her jade-like hand and took out a small jasper sword. The small sword was only the length of a finger. It looked crystal clear, like a girl's ornament. However, the aura it emitted made Mo Qingyun's expression turn solemn. He said, although the aura emitted by this small sword is not at the level of a divine king, it's not far off. It seems like the Yin Luo clan's ancestors' strength should be close to the divine king realm. While Mo Qingyun was shocked, his expression also became more relaxed. With this trump card of Yin Luo's, the safety of the two of them could be considered to be guaranteed. Of course, Mo Qingyun did not wish for Yin Luo to use her trump card now. If she used her trump card this time, he would not have any tricks up his sleeve the next time he left the heaven realm. Roar! Seeing Mo Qingyun quickly escape, the dragon claw fierce sun leopard roared and madly chased after him. This time, don't even think about escaping. Be obedient and become my food. The dragon claw fierce sun leopard roared and clawed out, exploding with a terrifying power. When this power erupted, it was like a thin thread, entangling Mo Qingyun and Yi Zichen. Very quickly, the space around Mo Qingyun and Yi Zichen was enveloped by these thin lines. Not good, we're trapped. Mo Qingyun's expression trembled as he looked at the cage formed by the thin thread that trapped the two of them. He exclaimed, "This is the manifestation of laws. It's a method that only heaven generals can use. Just from the aura of the thin thread, I can tell that it's not something that an ordinary weapon can cut." While Mo Qingyun was startled, Yin Luo's pretty face tightened as she waved her jade-like hand forward. Whoosh! Under Yin Luo's control, the small jasper sword turned into a beam of green light and blasted towards the line of law ahead. Looking at Yin Luo's small sword, the dragon claw ardent sun leopard's body trembled. He said in shock, "Quasi-divine king. Sword Dao origin. This girl actually has such an item. She has a heavenly god expert behind her." Recognizing the item in Yin Luo's hand, the dragon claw ardent sun leopard's attack immediately weakened. From the looks of it, it seemed to be a little fearful of Yin Luo and the person behind her. Pa! While the dragon claw ardent sun leopard was stunned, a few of the law crystal lines were broken and rapidly dissipated in midair. After breaking a few of the law crystal lines, the small jasper sword returned to Yin Luo's hand with a flash of light. Mo Qingyun noticed that after the small jasper sword broke the law crystal lines, its radiance dimmed by close to 30%. Looks like the small jasper sword in Yin Luo's hand can only attack 3 times at most. Fortunately, it's not gone after one attack. Seeing the situation with the jasper sword, Mo Qingyun's expression relaxed. He hurriedly said to Yin Luo, don't rashly use the sword Great Dao origin. It can only be used 3 times at most. If it dissipates due to the broken threads of laws, we'll be in a really bad situation." After witnessing the might of the small jasper sword, the dragon claw ardent sun leopard should be fearful and won't dare to get too close to us. From now on, just do as I say. Hearing Mo Qingyun's instructions, Yin Luo immediately nodded and didn't rashly attack again. After warning Yin Luo, Mo Qingyun looked at the dragon claw and sun leopard and sneered. Big dog in front, listen up. If you continue to chase, don't blame us for being impolite. Just now, we only broke the law cage. The next time we attack, we won't break the law cage, but directly attack you. Hearing Mo Qingyun's warning, the dragon claw ardent sun leopard immediately stopped in its tracks. Clearly, it had some strong worries about Mo Qingyun's warning. It was very clear that if it was hit by the small jasper sword, it would lose half its life even if it didn't die. Let's go. Seeing that the dragon claw ardent sun leopard was intimidated, Mo Qingyun didn't hesitate at all and immediately retreated with Yin Luo. Seeing that Mo Qingyun and Yin Luo were about to leave, the dragon claw ardent sun leopard hesitated for a moment before it chased after them and said, "Kid, it's not that easy to scare me with just a few words." The dragon claw ardent sun leopard chased after them and once again released the power of law, blocking the path of Mo Qingyun and Yin Luo. The space in front of Mo Qingyun and Yin Luo was blocked by the dragon claw ardent sun leopard, and they were trapped once again. After trapping Mo Qingyun and Yin Luo, the dragon claw ardent sun leopard proudly raised its head and said, "Kid, that girl's sword Dao origin can only be used twice more. It won't be easy for you to kill me." Roar! After the dragon claw ardent sun leopard finished speaking, it raised its head and let out a deafening roar. Roar! 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 As soon as the dragon claw ardent sun leopard's roar fell, the surrounding roars echoed, echoing the dragon claw ardent sun leopard's roar. Then, Mo Qingyun saw huge figures quickly converging in this direction. This cunning dog actually knows how to call for help. Seeing the dragon claw ardent sun leopard's actions, Mo Qingyun's face sank and his expression tensed up. While Mo Qingyun was nervous, he was even more depressed in his heart. An early-stage great god barbaric beast actually found a group of helpers to deal with two early-stage heavenly soldiers. Was there still any justice in this world? Seeing that its underlings had arrived, the dragon claw ardent sun leopard slowly retreated and found a safe place to lie down. It said, "Kid, wait until that girl's sword Dao origin is exhausted. Then I'll take care of you guys slowly." Shortly after, the dragon claw ardent sun leopard looked at Mo Qingyun and Yin Luo like a hunter. Seeing this scene, Yin Luo's pretty face tensed up. She asked in a low voice, "Young palace master, why don't I use the sword Dao origin to attack the dragon claw ardent sun leopard and perish together with it?" Mo Qingyun shook his head and said, "Don't be impulsive. This big dog is a little different from ordinary barbaric beasts. Not only did it develop intelligence, but its intelligence is also not low. It won't be defenseless. If it dares to stay at the side and watch, then it must have taken precautions. You have the sword Dao origin, so they won't dare to attack rashly. This law cage is also a defense that can protect our safety temporarily. Before the law cage is broken, don't be in a hurry to make a move. Let me think of a way first." Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Yin Luo nodded. Her pretty face tensed up as she looked around vigilantly. The surrounding barbarian demons were even more terrified and didn't dare to move. Ooh! Seeing Mo Qingyun's scene, Mo Qingyun took a deep breath and said, "I finally scared that big dog away. However, its guts are really small. It actually pissed itself." Mo Qingyun smiled faintly and muttered to himself. He did not relax because of that and quickly said to Yin Luo, "I only scare the Dragonclaw Fear Sun leopard temporarily. It will be troublesome if it comes back to its senses and runs back. While it's still frightened, quickly activate the sword Great Dao Origin and shatter the law threads. We'll leave this place immediately." All right. After listening to Mo Qingyun's instructions, Yin Luo did not hesitate and immediately activated the sword Great Dao Origin. Under Yin Luo's attack, the law threads were instantly shattered and a gap appeared in the cage. Let's go. With a gap open in the law cage, Mo Qingyun did not hesitate and immediately left with Yin Luo. As Yin Luo was familiar with the principal, she was still the one leading the way. Soon, the two of them left the brute demon area and arrived at the intelligent demon's territory. Entering the intelligent demon's territory also meant that Mo Qingyun and Yin Luo were temporarily safe. Now that the two of them were safe, Yin Luo's expression relaxed, and she became lively again. Young Palace Master, you're really too powerful. You actually scared an early-stage great god brute demon to the point of pissing himself. Recalling Mo Qingyun's performance just now, Yin Luo had a look of admiration and looked at Mo Qingyun with shining eyes. It was her first time seeing an early-stage great god brute demon frighten an early-stage heavenly soldier. I'm just lucky. I probably won't be able to do it next time. Mo Qingyun was very calm in the face of Yin Luo's praise. He did not feel complacent because of it. He was very clear that success this time did not mean that it would always be successful. The two of them exchanged a few words, and Yin Luo revealed a reluctant expression and said, "Young Palace Master, I have to make a trip back to the clan. I'm afraid I will have to part with you for the time being." Before Yin Luo left the 10,000 Demon Emperor Palace, she had told Mo Qingyun that she had to return to the clan. Because she had been delayed in the Star Region boundary, now that she had returned to the Heaven Realm, she naturally had to make a trip back. Okay, Mo Qingyun did not stop Yin Luo from saying goodbye. He smiled faintly and nodded, saying, "Rest assured and return to the clan first. I will stay in the 10,000 Demon Emperor Palace for the time being. When you are done with your matters, you can come to the 10,000 Demon Emperor Palace to look for me." Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Yin Luo's beautiful face lit up. She looked at Mo Qingyun nervously and said, "Young Palace Master, can I still go with you when you return to the Star Region boundary next time?" "Sure." Mo Qingyun nodded. Seeing Mo Qingyun agree, Yin Luo revealed a satisfied smile and said, "Then it's settled. I will return to the clan first." As soon as Yin Luo finished speaking, she rushed off in another direction, her face filled with joy. After parting ways with Yin Luo, Mo Qingyun did not stay behind and rushed to the 10,000 Demon Emperor Palace alone. After about an hour, Mo Qingyun arrived in front of the 10,000 Demon Emperor Palace and flew into the 10,000 Demon Emperor Palace. When Mo Qingyun entered the 10,000 Demon Emperor Palace, he attracted some attention and immediately became the focus of everyone's attention. Everyone was talking about the matter of his transformation in the demon transformation pool. Mo Qingyun was speechless when he saw everyone's reaction. This dark history could not be erased. Mo Qingyun shook his head and sighed. He cast aside the distracting thoughts in his heart and walked into the 10,000 Demon Emperor Palace. He was going to see if Chu Jiangshao was in the sect and ask him about some things. Mo Qingyun went straight down and soon arrived at the palace master's residence. He saw Chu Jiangshao talking to someone. "You're back." Seeing Mo Qingyun's arrival, Chu Jiangshao smiled faintly and greeted him. Hearing Chu Jiangshao's greeting, the few old men sitting beside him all looked at Mo Qingyun. Everyone looked at Mo Qingyun and showed a look of admiration. They nodded at Mo Qingyun. This child's talent is indeed not bad. His fusion of the Amethyst Thunder Dragon bloodline is the first in the history of the 10,000 Demon Emperor Palace. This child's bloodline purity is so high. Let him have a few children quickly and pass on the Amethyst Thunder Dragon bloodline. I think this is a good suggestion. My great-great-great-granddaughter has just transformed and is very compatible with this child. Bah, your great-great-great-granddaughter is already over 10,000 years old. Even if you want to eat young grass, you can't do that. My granddaughter is only over 1,000 years old. She is more suitable. As the old men talked, they started to quarrel. Listening to their conversation, Mo Qingyun was speechless for a while and revealed a gloomy expression. What do they take him for? A stud horse? A breeding cow? Chapter 3104. Come and sit here. Seeing Mo Qingyun return, Chu Jiangshao waved his hand with a faint smile. Hearing that, Mo Qingyun did not say much and walked to Chu Jiangxiao's side and sat down. I'm afraid there will be another battle with the appearance of the ancient Fei cave. We have to be fully prepared. After Mo Qingyun sat down, Chu Jiangxiao continued to narrate. His expression slowly turned serious as he said, "Not only that, I discovered that the ancient Fei cave that appeared this time is very different from the previous ones. It might be a large tribe from the primordial era." Listening to Chu Jiangxiao's narration, Mo Qingyun frowned as a look of curiosity flashed in his eyes. The ancient Fei cave seemed to be an ancient ruin. Was there a heaven general realm powerhouse's source energy inside? At this moment, Mo Qingyun felt some anticipation in his heart. With this thought in mind, Mo Qingyun was considering whether he could enter the ancient Fei cave. He thought to himself, I wonder what the requirements are for entering the ancient Fei cave. I'll ask Brother Chu later to see if I meet the requirements. Just as Mo Qingyun was pondering, he suddenly realized that Chu Jiangxiao was looking at him. Sensing Chu Jiangxiao's gaze, Mo Qingyun's heart skipped a beat. He instinctively had a thought. Brother Chu and the others are looking at me. Are they planning to let me enter the ancient Fei cave? With this thought in mind, Mo Qingyun became excited. If that was the case, it would be great. Palace Lord, what does the barbarian demon lineage have to say about the ancient Fei cave? Hearing Chu Jiangxiao's narration, an old man with a full beard asked Chu Jiangxiao. Hearing the old man's question, Chu Jiangxiao said, now that the situation in the heaven realm is unstable, the barbarian demon lineage does not dare to act rashly. He proposes to compete for the ownership of the ancient Fei cave. In order to prevent the competition between the two sides from being too intense and causing huge casualties during the competition, he decided to let the Heaven Soldier Realm Juniors compete. After listening to Chu Jiangxiao's narration, the few old men nodded in agreement. Compared to the loss of Heaven General and Great God Realm disciples, the loss of some Heaven Soldier Realm Juniors was undoubtedly much smaller. Can Heavenly Soldier Realm cultivators enter? After learning about the requirements to participate in the duel from Chu Jiangxiao, Mo Qingyun's mind raced. At this moment, he finally understood why Chu Jiangxiao was looking at him, as if he was really planning to let him in. While Mo Qingyun was deep in thought, Chu Jiangxiao looked at him and said, Little friend Mo, although you've just broken through to the Heavenly Soldier Realm, your physique is strong. Ordinary people at the peak of the Heavenly Soldier Realm won't be able to harm you. Are you willing to help the 10,000 Demon Emperor Palace? Hearing Chu Jiangxiao's question, Mo Qingyun felt a wave of helplessness in his heart. Was there even need to ask? Chu Jiangxiao had given him so much help, so how could he refuse? Besides, he also wanted to enter the ancient Fei cavern to see if he could encounter the heavenly general intent origins. Of course, Mo Qingyun smiled and nodded. Brother Chu has given me so much help. I was just thinking about how to repay him. Now that I have such an opportunity, how can I miss it? Hearing Mo Qingyun's answer, Chu Jiangxiao and the others nodded their heads in appreciation. From this, it could be seen that Mo Qingyun was a person who knew how to repay kindness. His previous help had not been in vain. After expressing his attitude to the others, Mo Qingyun stopped watching from the sidelines and directly asked Chu Jiangxiao, Brother Chu, when will the ancient Fei cavern open? I returned to the 10,000 Demon Emperor Palace this time because I have an important matter to attend to. If the ancient Fei cavern opens early, I'll take care of it first before returning. If it's going to open soon, I'll enter the ancient Fei cavern first before going to attend to my own matters. Since he had promised Chu Jiangxiao to represent the 10,000 Demon Emperor Palace in the competition, he naturally had to prepare. However, in the process of his preparation, he could not delay his search for the heavenly general intent origins. Hearing Mo Qingyun's question, Chu Jiangxiao said, The competition in the ancient Fei cavern will begin in 2 days. If you can settle your matters quickly, you can go ahead and attend to your own matters first. If you can't settle them quickly, it's better to participate in the competition in the ancient Fei cavern first and attend to your own matters later. Only 2 days. Mo Qingyun muttered and shook his head, saying, I'm afraid it's too late. Let's deal with the ancient Fey cavern first. Seeing Mo Qingyun put his matters aside and deal with the ancient Fey cavern first, Chu Jiangxiao and the others nodded in appreciation. They were very satisfied with Mo Qingyun's performance. After knowing Mo Qingyun's decision, Chu Jiangxiao turned his head and continued to discuss with the elders. Following this, Mo Qingyun did not speak again and listened silently. Chu Jiangxiao continued, I, Man Xian, and a few others from the Brute Demon sect investigated the ancient Fey cavern together and chose a branch area as the location of this test. This branch area was once the territory of a heavenly general realm, ancient Fey. Heavenly Soldier Realm juniors will not be in too much danger when they enter the trial. After hearing Chu Jiangxiao's explanation, the expressions of the several elders beside him relaxed slightly. Although it was easy to nurture Heavenly Soldier Realm juniors, if they really died, it would be a big loss. After all, the juniors participating in this test were all geniuses of the 10,000 Demon Emperor Palace. After explaining the location of the test, Chu Jiangxiao thought for a moment and said, as for the standard of the test, it will be an elimination system. Both sides will send in 20 juniors, and each of them will carry a token as a tool for scoring. The test will last for 3 days. After 3 days, the test will open and the points of both sides will be tallied. A token will count as 1 point. Every remaining disciple from both sides will also be counted as 1 point. In the end, the side with the most points will be the winner of this test. After listening to Chu Jiangxiao's explanation, Mo Qingyun had a clear understanding of the test standard. In other words, the disciples and tokens would count as 2 points. Losing a token would not result in elimination. Only when one's token was taken away and they were forced to leave the test would they be truly out of the test. Following that, Chu Jiangxiao and the others began to discuss some of the details of the competition. Seeing that there was nothing for him to do, Mo Qingyun stood up and took his leave. After Mo Qingyun left, he went to his residence. After returning to his room, Mo Qingyun began to cultivate and recover. Although he managed to preserve his life under the pursuit of the Dragon Claw Fierce Sun Leopard, he also suffered some light injuries. Previously, he was in a hurry to leave the Sky Demon mountain range, so he did not care about his injuries. However, he cannot ignore them now. The day after tomorrow, he would be participating in the Ancient Fey Cavern test. A little injury could affect the results. The Ancient Fey Cavern was his chance to find the Heaven General Concept origin. He could not neglect or be careless. Chapter 3105. The main direction of cultivation in the Heaven Realm is the comprehension of laws and origins. After recovering from his injuries, Mo Qingyun recalled the battle with the Dragon Claw Blazing Sun Leopard. He thought to himself, perhaps I could try to comprehend the heavenly laws and the Great Path origin and laws. Once Taishi's Great Path origin and laws were discovered by others, the impact would be great. However, if Mo Qingyun could comprehend the ordinary Great Path origin and laws, he would not have any concerns. With this thought in mind, Mo Qingyun once again immersed himself in cultivation to comprehend the Great Path origin and laws. Taishi's Great Path origin and laws are of a higher level. I can use them as a foundation to comprehend. Taishi's Great Path origin and laws could not be used to fight others, but it was no problem to use them to assist in cultivation. With Taishi's Great Path origin and laws as a foundation, Mo Qingyun's comprehension of ordinary Great Path origin and laws became much easier. The power of origin is even more mysterious. Even if I comprehend it now, I'm afraid I won't be able to use it. Mo Qingyun comprehended for a while. He had some understanding in his heart and gave up on comprehending the power of the Great Path origin. For the current him, the power of the Great Path origin was easier to control. Following that, Mo Qingyun focused all his comprehension on the Great Path origin. Under Mo Qingyun's comprehension, waves of illusory Great Path origin power entered his perception. These Great Path origin laws were different from the laws of the astral boundary. They were more like a cultivation source. If one really had to describe it, the Great Path origin and laws of the heaven realm were of the same type as origin power, spiritual power, and saint power. It was just that they were of a higher level and were more powerful and mysterious. So this is the situation of the heaven realm's Great Path origin and laws. After understanding the situation of the Great Path origin, Mo Qingyun was secretly delighted. He had a direction for cultivation. Originally, he was just trying his luck. He did not expect that he would actually succeed. With some progress in cultivation, Mo Qingyun did not waste any more time and focused on comprehending and condensing the Great Path origin. Under Mo Qingyun's cultivation, wisps of weak Great Path origin condensed and gathered in his body. Although this progress was very slow, it was increasing bit by bit. At this rate, I'll be able to successfully condense a grand outlaw in a month at most. Sensing the progress of his cultivation, Mo Qingyun's face lit up with joy, and he worked even harder in his cultivation. A day passed quickly. The next morning, young palace master, the palace master is summoning you. A pleasant voice came from outside the house. Hearing the call from outside, Mo Qingyun stopped cultivating. He smiled faintly and said, "In just a day, I can clearly sense the existence of the laws of the Great Path that I condensed. You've progressed much faster than I expected." After calming down the joy in his heart, Mo Qingyun got up and walked out of the room. "Greetings, young palace master." Mo Qingyun walked out of the house, and the girl waiting outside smiled at him. Soon after, the young woman led the way, bringing him to see Chu Jiangshao and the others. While the girl was leading the way, she would occasionally turn her head and look at Mo Qingyun from head to toe. Sensing the young woman's gaze, Mo Qingyun didn't know whether to laugh or cry. He felt like he was an exhibit. Seeing that Mo Qingyun didn't seem to recognize her, the young woman said with some dissatisfaction, "Young palace master, don't you remember me? You are?" Hearing the other party's question, Mo Qingyun was puzzled. Although Mo Qingyun was puzzled, he vaguely felt that the young woman in front of him might be one of the little monsters in the transformation pool. However, they were both in their monster forms back then. Now that they were in human form, if he didn't know the details, even her parents wouldn't recognize her. Just as Mo Qingyun thought, when the girl heard his question, she pretended to frown and said, "Young palace master, you're so naughty. That day in the demon transformation pool, you saw my body, and now you're pretending you don't know me." Hearing the young woman's words, Mo Qingyun was speechless. Black lines appeared on his forehead. Was there such a thing? Who had ever seen a demonic beast the size of a mountain wrapped in clothes? Seeing Mo Qingyun's gloomy and sullen face, the young woman laughed and said with a sly expression, "I'm just joking with you. However, you saw my body, so you have to compensate me. Otherwise, I'll tell the others that you took advantage of a female disciple and make everyone view you as an enemy." Mo Qingyun fell silent. The young woman could say whatever she wanted. He understood that no matter how he explained, it wouldn't make sense. These monsters' way of thinking was not on the same channel as his. Seeing that Mo Qingyun didn't speak, the young woman knew her limits and didn't continue to tease him. Soon, under the young woman's guidance, Mo Qingyun arrived at the great conference hall. When the young woman entered the great conference hall, he walked behind an old man and whispered into the old man's ear. Mo Qingyun wasn't unfamiliar with this old man. He had seen him in Chu Jiangxiao's courtyard yesterday. Mo Qingyun remembered that this old man seemed to have said that he had a granddaughter who had just taken human form. When Mo Qingyun thought of this, he felt even more gloomy. He originally thought that the old man was joking the day before yesterday. He didn't expect him to be serious. Retracting his gaze from the old man, Mo Qingyun scanned the great conference hall and saw that it was filled with people. Among these people, Mo Qingyun knew some of them, and some of them he didn't know. Other than these, Mo Qingyun also saw a group of young men standing respectfully in the middle of the great conference hall. Mo Qingyun took a rough glance. There were a total of 19 people, and they were all at the Heaven Soldier realm. These 19 people should be like me, participating in the ancient demon trials. After sensing the cultivation of the 19 people, Mo Qingyun knew their identities and slowly walked to their side. Seeing that Mo Qingyun had arrived, Chu Jiangxiao nodded at him and said, "Since everyone is here, let's not waste any more time. I'll give you a few simple instructions." The appearance of the ancient demon cave this time is very different from the previous ones. It concerns the future development of the 10,000 Demon Emperor Palace. Therefore, your mission is very important. During the process of the competition, you must not be careless. If you can win this competition, the sect will give great rewards to the top 10 people in the competition. The person ranked first will be rewarded with a Heaven Divine armor. The second and third will be rewarded with a divine weapon. The 4th to 10th will be rewarded with 100,000 to 50,000 heaven crystals. Hearing Chu Jiangxiao's explanation, the 19 young men beside Mo Qingyun revealed excited expressions. If they could obtain these rewards, their strength would increase greatly in a short period of time. Compared to the excitement of the 19 people, Mo Qingyun was much more indifferent. It wasn't that Mo Qingyun's state of mind was good, but he didn't know the specific value of those things. Not only did he not know the value, he had never even heard of it before. How could he have such a big reaction? Chapter 3106. Are the divine weapons and divine armors that Big Brother Chu mentioned the same as the ones in the astral boundary? Also, what are heaven crystals? At this moment, Mo Qingyun was extremely curious about what Chu Jiangxiao was talking about. Without waiting for Mo Qingyun to figure it out, Chu Jiangxiao continued, "Time is of the essence, so I won't say anything unnecessary. In a while, Elder Chu Renyun will lead you to the ancient demon cave." After Chu Jiangxiao finished speaking, he looked at an old man beside him, indicating for him to lead everyone. This old man was none other than the old man beside the young girl. "Little guy, come with me." Chu Renyun did not waste time. After instructing everyone, he prepared to set off for the ancient demon cave. Just as Chu Renyun was about to set off, one of the 19 youths by Mo Qingyun's side suddenly stood out and said, "Palace Lord, elders, since all of you said that this ancient demon cavern is extremely important, why did you allow an initial stage Heaven Soldier realm person to participate?" When the young man said this, everyone's gaze fell on Mo Qingyun. Some people who were not familiar with Mo Qingyun had puzzled and doubtful gazes at this moment. They did not understand why Chu Jiangxiao would make such a decision, and they also doubted Mo Qingyun's strength. "Truly, you don't have to worry about Mo Qingyun. The palace lord has his reasons for letting him participate." Hearing the young man's doubtful words, Chu Renyun's expression was solemn as he gave the young man an answer. Chu Renyun's answer did not satisfy the young man. The young man had a dissatisfied look and said, "Palace Lord, I'm not doubting your intentions, but since you said that the ancient demon cave is very important, if we lose because of him, the responsibility can't be placed on us. We won't take the blame for him." When the other 18 young men heard Chu Li's words, they all nodded in agreement. Seeing Chu Li say this, one of Chu Li's elders in the hall scolded him with a displeased expression, "Bastard brat, if you're not doubting the palace lord, what are you doing? Do whatever the palace lord tells you to do. There's no need for so much nonsense." Hearing the elder's scolding, Chu Li did not back down at all. His gaze confronted the elder. "Elder Chu Yin, there's no need to be angry." After placating Chu Li's elder, Chu Jiangxiao looked at Chu Li and said, "I can understand that you're doubting my arrangements. However, if it's really because of young friend Mo that we've lost this competition, I won't hold you responsible. Of course, if it's because of you that we lost this competition, I won't forgive you." Hearing Chu Jiangxiao's words, Chu Li nodded in satisfaction. Then, he shot a disdainful glance at Mo Qingyun. As for the other 18 people, they also revealed satisfied expressions and looked at Mo Qingyun with disdain. In their opinion, With Mo Qingyun's cultivation at the early stage of the heavenly soldier realm, he was completely a hindrance. Mo Qingyun did not care about the reaction of Chu Li and the others. He had seen this kind of thing many times before. If there's nothing else, you can leave now. After comforting Chu Li for a while, Chu Jiangshao waved his hand, indicating for Chu Renyun to lead everyone on their journey. Receiving Chu Jiangshao's signal, Chu Renyun nodded, got up, and walked out of the main hall. When passing by Mo Qingyun, Chu Renyun's footsteps paused. He smiled faintly and said, "Kid, the palace lord personally vouched for you. Don't let the palace lord down. In addition, you saw my granddaughter's body. You have to be responsible for her. Otherwise, don't blame me for being impolite to you." Haha. When Chu Renyun's words fell, he laughed loudly and walked forward quickly. Hearing Chu Renyun's words, Mo Qingyun had a gloomy look, but he did not argue. Soon, everyone arrived outside the 10,000 Demon Imperial Palace under Chu Renyun's lead. Condense. Coming out of the 10,000 Demon Imperial Palace, Chu Renyun raised his hand and formed a seal, urging the power of law to condense a flying boat. The law flying boat formed. Chu Renyun took the lead to fly in and said, "You all come up." Hearing Chu Renyun's words, Mo Qingyun and the rest hurriedly followed and entered the flying boat one after another. Mo Qingyun and the rest entered the flying boat. Another two middle-aged men entered the law flying boat, guarding Mo Qingyun and the rest. It looked like these two people following together should be to protect the safety of Mo Qingyun and the rest. Although Chu Renyun's strength was formidable, the power of one person was limited after all. If they really encountered an unexpected situation, he probably cannot take care of it alone. Seeing Mo Qingyun and the rest all boarded the law flying boat, Chu Renyun controlled the law flying boat. The moment the law flying boat moved, it turned into a stream of light, instantly escaping 1,000 miles away. So fast, seeing the law flying boat's speed, Mo Qingyun's expression was startled. Mo Qingyun's performance fell into the eyes of Chu Li and the rest, making them even more disdainful. Country bumpkin, haven't seen the world. I really don't know what's so good about this kid to be able to make the palace lord value him. What's even more hateful is that this kid has seen the bodies of many junior sisters in the demon transformation pool. When we enter the competition grounds, we must teach him a good lesson. Chu Li and the rest had unfriendly looks, all of them staring at Mo Qingyun. Regarding the performance of Chu Li and the rest, Mo Qingyun did not care at all, sitting cross-legged indifferently at the side. Mo Qingyun sat cross-legged. He immersed himself in cultivation, continuing to comprehend the great Tao laws. Seeing Mo Qingyun's performance, Chu Renyun and the rest next to him showed expressions of admiration. Mo Qingyun's attitude toward cultivation was not what Chu Li and the rest could compare to. No wonder this kid can cultivate to this extent in less than 100 years in the star field boundary. Looking at Mo Qingyun's performance, Chu Renyun could not help but sigh in his heart and said, "Cultivation talent is indeed important, but if there is no hard work, how can there be today's harvest?" Thinking so in his heart, Chu Renyun looked at Chu Li and the rest, feeling some dissatisfaction. Chu Renyun shouted, "You brats, you should learn more from Mo Qingyun. Hurry up and cultivate." Hearing Chu Renyun's words, Chu Li and the rest all had gloomy faces, feeling vexed. "Elder Chu Renyun, are you mistaken? You want us to learn from him? It only takes a day to go to the ancient Fey cave. What can be cultivated in a day? In my opinion, this kid is just putting on an act to win your favor. Sucking up without the ability, he only knows how to curry favor with the palace lord and the elders." For a moment, Chu Li and the rest's dissatisfaction with Mo Qingyun instantly became even stronger. Hearing the vexed words of Chu Li and the rest, Chu Renyun shouted with a displeased face, "I told you to cultivate. Then cultivate. What's with all the nonsense? If you can't cultivate in time, there's nothing wrong with adjusting your state to the best. If you lose this competition because of your poor state, all of you just wait and see." Under Chu Renyun's rebuke, Chu Li and the rest sat down cross-legged with a look of unwillingness, and also began to cultivate and adjust their state. Chapter 31:07. Just as Chu Li and the others had said, a day passed quickly. After a day of traveling, the law-flying boat arrived at the ancient Fei Cave. As soon as they arrived at the ancient Fei Cave, Chu Li and the others stopped cultivating and looked at Mo Qingyun. Seeing that Mo Qingyun was still cultivating, Chu Li and the others showed disdain, their faces full of ridicule. We've already arrived at the ancient Fei Cave, but this kid is still acting. I don't believe that he'll be able to cultivate anything in just one day. Kid, that's enough. There's no need to continue acting. That's right. Everyone is waiting for you. Don't waste time here. Chu Li and the others ridiculed. Seeing the performance of Chu Li and the others, Chu Renyun frowned and released a law to envelop them. Seeing that they were isolated, Chu Li and the others showed displeasure and said, Elder Chu Renyun, this kid is clearly wasting time. Why are you? Shut up. Without waiting for Chu Li and the others to finish speaking, Chu Renyun berated them and interrupted them. After stopping Chu Li and the others from speaking, Chu Renyun looked towards Mo Qingyun. His brows furrowed slightly as he said, This brat has some skills. He actually touched the threshold of the law of the Great Path in such a short amount of time. His cultivation speed is indeed very terrifying. If he was born in the heaven realm, with his cultivation speed, I wonder what level he would be at now. Heaven God? God King? Chu Renyun thought for a moment and shook his head. He felt that he was thinking too much. Just as Chu Renyun was thinking nonsense, Mo Qingyun opened his eyes and withdrew from cultivation. I didn't expect the harvest of cultivation this time to be much more than last time. After withdrawing from cultivation, Mo Qingyun revealed a look of surprise and said, At this speed, and at most 20 days, I can truly comprehend the Great Path law and raise my strength to a new level. Unfortunately, I'm about to enter the ancient Fei Cave. I won't have time to continue cultivating in a short period of time. When Mo Qingyun thought of this, he felt a sense of regret. Time was too tight. After sighing inwardly, Mo Qingyun stood up and bowed to everyone with an apologetic expression. I'm sorry. I had some enlightenment during my cultivation and was delayed for a while. I made everyone wait for a long time. Seeing Mo Qingyun withdraw from his cultivation, Chu Renyun removed the loss. He waved his hand with a faint smile and said, It's fine. To be able to gain something before entering the ancient Fei Cave is a good thing for this competition. After Chu Renyun finished speaking, he looked towards Chu Li and the others and said, You brats, if you can all be like Mo Qingyun, then there will be no suspense in this competition. Hearing Chu Renyun favoring one and discriminating against the other, Chu Li and the others were dissatisfied. Their eyes fiercely glared at Mo Qingyun. Isn't it just a slight increase in my comprehension of grand outlaws? I've only just touched the threshold. I'm still far from being able to condense a sliver of law. When I was at his level, the sliver of law I condensed was already half a meter long. He didn't even have half an inch. Chu Li and the others were indignant and said disdainful words one after another. Seeing the performance of Chu Li and the others, Chu Renyun's face darkened, and he angrily rebuked, Did you know that Mo Qingyun was not born in the heaven realm? The time he spent in the heaven realm was not more than a month. In these 10 days, half of the time was transforming, and a few days was learning the language. The real comprehension of the laws did not exceed 3 days. Hearing Chu Renyun's words, Chu Li and the others were dumbfounded, and shock appeared on their faces. 3 days. In just 3 days' time, Mo Qingyun's comprehension of the grand outlaws had reached the point of touching the threshold. This kind of cultivation speed could be said to be monstrous and terrifying. Elder Chu Renyun, you're joking, right? Chu Li laughed lightly, pretending to be calm, but he could not hide his shock. In response to Chu Li's question, Chu Renyun snorted lightly and said, You brats, although your cultivation talent is not weak, you all remember there's always a mountain beyond a mountain, a sky beyond a sky, and a person beyond a person. If you feel proud and complacent because of your current achievements, you will be surpassed sooner or later. Moreover, this time will not be too long. Perhaps after this competition, you will be surpassed by Mo Qingyun. Chu Renyun's words first made Chu Li and the others fall silent, and then it made them angry. Chu Renyun was underestimating them too much. This competition was only for a few days, only 3 days. In 3 days, Mo Qingyun could surpass them. This was looking down on them too much. No, this was not looking down on them, but insulting them. Immediately, their gazes towards Mo Qingyun became even more unfriendly. There was no other way. They did not dare to be angry at Chu Renyun, so they could only transfer their anger to Mo Qingyun. Brat, you want to surpass us? Dream on. Enter the ancient demon cave. We will let you know how big the gap is between us. I hope you won't be chased out immediately after entering the ancient demon cave. Chu Li and the others were indignant. Looking at the performance of Chu Li and the others, Mo Qingyun was a little depressed in his heart. Why did they vent their anger on him? Glancing at Chu Li and the others indifferently, Mo Qingyun said casually, "If you have the time to criticize me here, save your energy and think about how to deal with those people from the barbaric demon lineage. Don't talk so much here. When you enter the ancient demon cave, you will be crushed like a soft persimmon." Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Chu Li and the others were furious and almost went berserk. Mo Qingyun was too arrogant. He actually dared to refute them. Seeing the actions of Chu Li and the others, Chu Renyun shouted impatiently, "All right, quiet down. Don't waste time here. Let's all enter the cave." After Chu Renyun finished speaking, he raised his hand and waved, bringing everyone to the entrance of the cave. The entrance of this cave was very big. It was 100 meters tall and hundreds of meters wide. It was completely different from what Mo Qingyun imagined. Standing in front of the entrance of the cave, Mo Qingyun could clearly feel an ancient aura. Among these auras, there were heavenly soldier realm, heavenly general realm, great deity realm, heavenly god realm, and even divine king realm. It seems that the origin of this ancient demon cave is indeed very complicated. Sensing the aura in the ancient demon cave, Mo Qingyun's expression tensed up. His heart was somewhat solemn. The older the ancient demon cave was, the more unknowns there were, and the easier it was for unforeseen events to happen. Seeing Mo Qingyun's solemn expression, Chu Li and the others felt a wave of disdain. They were even more disdainful of Mo Qingyun. "Country bumpkin, you haven't seen a big scene." Chu Li chuckled. He walked forward and followed Chu Renyun into the cave. Mo Qingyun did not care about Chu Li's mockery at all. There was no change in his expression. Chu Li and the others looked down on him. How could he not look down on them? The more Chu Li and the others were like this, the more he looked down on them. Chapter 3108. After entering the interior of the ancient demon cave, Mo Qingyun discovered that the space inside was extremely large. There were many magnificent buildings built. The structures of these buildings were not complicated, but they were all very tall. They were clearly different from human houses. Is this where the ancient demon lives? After briefly sizing up the ancient demon cave, Mo Qingyun's heart stirred. He was shocked by the scene in front of him. Mo Qingyun originally thought that the ancient demon cave that Chu Jiangshao and the others spoke of was just an ancient cave. It was no different from an ordinary cave. Only now did Mo Qingyun realize that he had misunderstood. Furthermore, it was a huge mistake. How was this a cave? It was clearly a huge underground city. Dong, dong, dong. Just as Mo Qingyun was looking around, the ground suddenly shook. There was a series of deafening footsteps. Not long after these footsteps sounded, Mo Qingyun saw tall figures slowly rushing towards them. These were the demons of the barbaric demon lineage. The demon at the front of the barbaric demon lineage looked like a silver-haired lion with a single horn. The aura it emitted was about the same as Chu Renyun's. It had just entered the godly king level. The silver-haired lion brought the barbaric demon lineage demons over. It shook its head and said, Chu Ren, your people haven't come. I thought that you didn't dare to come and directly gave up on the competition for the ancient demon cave. Hearing the silver-haired lion's words, Chu Ren chuckled and said, Haha, you can think of that. I'm afraid that you will come early and leave early. This way, you can come early and feel the aura of the ancient demon cave more. This can be considered a gain. The silver-haired lion was clearly not Chu Ren's match in terms of words. It was completely defeated in one round. Seeing that its mockery did not gain any advantage, the silver-haired lion said unwillingly, From the structure of the cave, this ancient demon cave is clearly prepared for my barbaric demon lineage. It can be seen that we will have a great advantage in the following competition. I hope that your juniors will not lose too badly. Chu Ren smiled again. A mocking smile appeared at the corner of his mouth. He said, Although you're familiar with the terrain of the ancient Fey Cavern, it does not mean that you will definitely win. If you still lose like this, then you will truly lose miserably. Hearing Chu Ren's counterattack, the silver-haired lion glared angrily and said, If that's the case, then let's wait and see who will have the last laugh. After the silver-haired lion finished speaking, he didn't stay any longer and left with a group of small demons. Watching the group of barbarian demons leave, Chu Ren frowned and said, I didn't expect Manju's strength to have grown so much in just a few years. Chu Ren muttered to himself. He did not think too much about it and looked at those little demons. Chu Ren glanced at those little beasts and then said with a serious expression, No wonder Man Gue is so confident. It turns out that there are a few extraordinary brats in this generation of brute beasts. Hearing Chu Ren's words, the faces of Mo Qingyun and the others all revealed curious expressions. To be able to get such an evaluation from Chu Ren, it could be seen that those few barbarian demon juniors were indeed extraordinary. Under the gaze of Mo Qingyun and the others, Chu Ren cleared his throat and said, Look at the little demon in the air. It is an extremely rare absolute beginning wind, thunder, fire, crow. It is good at wind, fire, and thunder, the three absolute beginning origin powers. Although with its current realm, the origin power it can use is very weak, you have to be careful when fighting with it. The little demon on the left side of Manju is also not simple. He is the descendant of the chaotic green dragon, Ghost Wolf. His defensive power is extremely terrifying. Ordinary early-stage Heaven General Realm experts would find it difficult to break his defense. If you encounter him, don't get entangled with him. Save your strength to deal with the other little demons. The last little demon you have to pay attention to is the little black snake. It looks small and harmless, but in fact, it is the most threatening one. This is the absolute beginning realm corroding snake. The venom of the powerful absolute beginning realm corroding snake can corrode the spatial boundary between the two worlds. Of course, you can't underestimate the other little demons. Those who could participate in this competition are not simple. After listening to Chu Ren's explanation, Mo Qingyun nodded in understanding and took note of his words. Not only did Mo Qingyun take note of it seriously, but even Chu Li and the others showed a serious expression at this moment. It could be seen that Chu Li and the others felt great pressure from these little demons. When Mo Qingyun saw the grave expressions on Chu Li and the others' faces as if they were under a lot of pressure, he smiled faintly and said, Senior, we're about to fight them, so we mustn't boost their morale and diminish our own. They're very strong too. For example, this Chu Li. He is actually quite strong. For example, Mo Qingyun was halfway through his words when he suddenly realized that he was not familiar with Chu Li at all and did not know where to praise him. Seeing Mo Qingyun's performance, Chu Li was immediately angry. He felt that Mo Qingyun was mocking him. If he was really praising him, why did he suddenly stop talking when he mentioned his strong points? Wasn't this indirectly saying that he was useless? What do you mean? Chu Li roared loudly, as if he wanted to fight with Mo Qingyun. Seeing Chu Li's reaction, Mo Qingyun helplessly shook his head. He really wanted to praise him. Although Chu Li misunderstood his meaning, he did not care. He smiled faintly and said, "That's right. Your performance just now was really too cowardly. If the brute demons saw it, they would probably laugh at you to death. All of you remember, after entering the competition venue, you must use this kind of momentum to fight against the brute demons." Seeing Mo Qingyun's performance, Chu Renyun nodded in praise. Although Mo Qingyun angered Chu Li and the others and made them dislike him even more, it had to be said that because of Mo Qingyun's actions, Chu Li and the others were no longer afraid and nervous. Mo Qingyun is right. I was careless just now. Looking at the angry Chu Li, Chu Renyun stood up and said, "I shouldn't have boosted the morale of others and destroyed my own prestige at this time. Although they are not weak, they are not stronger than you. All of you follow me. Find a place to rest and prepare for tomorrow's competition." After Chu Renyun finished speaking, he walked forward to find a place for everyone to rest. The wisdom demons transformed into human form and chose a place to rest. It was not as troublesome as the brute demons. They had to find a spacious place. After a while, Chu Renyun found a place to rest and let them rest and adjust their state. Mo Qingyun was very straightforward. He directly immersed himself in cultivation and continued to comprehend the great Tao law. He found that idleness was useless, so he might as well cultivate and increase his strength. If his strength increased, the chances of finding the Heaven General Realm concept origin in the competition venue would also increase. Chapter 3109. Time passed very quickly. A day passed very quickly. Due to having to enter the competition grounds, Mo Qingyun did not fully immerse himself in cultivation this time. He was worried that if he cultivated wholeheartedly, it would affect the competition in the ancient demon cave. Firstly, he would not be able to account to Chu Jiangshao. Secondly, it would delay the search for the heavenly general concept origin. That would not be worth the loss. The next morning, when Chu Renyun gathered everyone, Mo Qingyun withdrew from cultivation. Due to not fully immersing himself in cultivation, Mo Qingyun's gains from cultivation this time were not as great as the previous two times. However, he also gained quite a bit and became more familiar with great Tao laws. Let's go over. Seeing that everyone was here, Chu Renyun did not delay any further and informed everyone to walk ahead. Mo Qingyun and the rest hurriedly followed, walking towards the depths of the ancient demon cave. As they went deeper into the ancient demon cave, Mo Qingyun discovered that they had left the ancient demon city. Coming out of the ancient demon city, the space shrank a lot, revealing passageways of different sizes. Above these passageways, there was a stone tablet embedded, marking the place that led to Earth Dragon Tribe. Under Chu Renyun's lead, Mo Qingyun and the rest came to a passageway and recognized the words on the stone tablet. Not long after Mo Qingyun and the rest arrived, the demons of the brute demon lineage arrived. When the demons of the brute demon lineage arrived, they surrounded Mo Qingyun, a look of surprise flashing across their eyes. There's indeed an initial stage heavenly soldier kid. I thought I saw wrongly yesterday. Is the smart demon lineage so down and out? They can only find an initial stage heavenly soldier kid to make up the numbers? Don't snatch with me. This kid is my prey. The lesser demons of the brute demon lineage all looked at Mo Qingyun with mocking gazes. Seeing the performance of the lesser demons of the brute demon lineage, Chu Li and the rest were somewhat displeased. They all glared at Mo Qingyun. They felt that because of Mo Qingyun, their intelligent demon lineage was being mocked. Mo Qingyun didn't care about the thoughts of Chu Li and the others. He swept his gaze over the small demons of the barbarian demon clan and said, "A high realm doesn't necessarily equate to strength. For example, being big doesn't necessarily equate to being intelligent. You can't even transform. Is this the same principle? How dare you?" Hearing Mo Qingyun's counterattack, Manzhong immediately became furious and released his aura to suppress Mo Qingyun. In his opinion, Mo Qingyun's words were scolding him as well. Seeing Man Chang's action, Chu Renyun chuckled. He immediately stood in front of Mo Qingyun and said, Man Chong, you're too weak. You're a god king, but you're attacking a junior at the early stage of Heaven Soldier. Besides, Mo Qingyun wasn't wrong in the first place. You guys can't even transform, so your intelligence isn't that high. Seeing Chu Renyun mocking him, Man Chong became even angrier. He roared, Humph! I'm a god king. How can I be insulted by a junior? He must pay the price today. Seeing Man Chang's action, Chu Renyun's face darkened. He shouted, Man Chong, if you insist on doing this, I don't mind attacking your juniors. Hearing Chu Renyun's warning, Man Chong regained some rationality and withdrew his aura. But even so, Mo Qingyun still suffered heavy injuries under Man Chang's aura. Seeing Man Chong withdraw his aura, Chu Renyun's expression relaxed. He asked Mo Qingyun with concern, Mo Qingyun, how are you? Are you hurt anywhere? Hearing Chu Renyun's question, Mo Qingyun narrowed his eyes and looked at Man Chong with deep meaning. So what if you're a god king? You can injure people at will? Mo Qingyun thought in his heart and decided to give Man Chong a counterattack. Pooh work. Under everyone's gazes, Mo Qingyun directly spat out a mouthful of blood and fell to the ground. Mo Qingyun suddenly vomited blood and fell to the ground. Chu Li and the rest jumped in fright, revealing shocked expressions. Although they did not like Mo Qingyun, no matter what, Mo Qingyun was a member of their side. Now that he was injured by Man Chong, they were also very unhappy. Man Chong, what do you mean? Do you think that my God King is easy to bully? Seeing Mo Qingyun's situation, Chu Renyun also jumped in fright, staring at Man Chong angrily. Facing Chu Renyun's question, Man Chong was dumbfounded and confused. Although he released his aura just now and pressed down on Mo Qingyun, he did not have the intention of hurting Mo Qingyun. Looking at Mo Qingyun's current performance, he seemed to be seriously injured. This result was completely different from what he thought. Without waiting for Man Chong to react, Mo Qingyun coughed out a few mouthfuls of blood and said, Senior, he must have found out that I'm the strongest among the 10,000 Demon Emperor Palace's disciples. He wants to deliberately injure me and weaken our side's strength. Humph! A dignified divine king realm powerhouse actually used such a method. Even if the brute Demon Emperor Palace wins, it's not glorious. No, they're breaking the rules. They should be regarded as giving up the competition. Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Chu Li and the rest's expressions became unnatural. When did Mo Qingyun become the strongest among them? Without waiting for Chu Li and the rest to refute, Chu Renyun spoke first and shouted, Man Chong, I don't care if it's intentional or unintentional. For the current situation, you must give me a reasonable explanation. Otherwise, I will immediately bring people back to the sect and report the matter here to the palace master. You should be very clear what the consequences of seriously injuring the opponent's candidate before the competition. Hearing Chu Renyun's words, a trace of panic flashed in Man Chang's eyes. If they really lost the ancient demon cave because of this, his responsibility would be great. Thinking of this, Man Chang's momentum weakened a little, and he said, Although I released my momentum just now to suppress this kid, I didn't mean to hurt him. Let me see his injuries. After Man Chong finished speaking, he walked towards Mo Qingyun, ready to check Mo Qingyun's injuries. Senior, you can't let him get close. I'm worried about him. Seeing Man Chang's action, Mo Qingyun immediately shouted and moved closer to Chu Renyun. I suspect that he injured me with his aura just now in order to get close to me on purpose. He wants to take this opportunity to do something to me. He's a divine king realm powerhouse. If he does something to me, it'll be difficult for Senior to find out. Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Chu Renyun nodded in agreement, thinking that Mo Qingyun was right. Then, Chu Renyun stopped Man Chong and shouted, Man Chong, don't talk nonsense. Do you plan to deal with this matter? Man Chong couldn't explain clearly. Under a guilty conscience, he made some concessions and said, Tell me, what do you want? This matter will be over. There was no other way. who asked him to use his momentum to suppress Mo Qingyun just now. Chapter 3110. Manju was really very depressed right now. If it was some ordinary junior, they would be injured by his aura. They would definitely be scared until they did not dare to speak and obediently suffer a loss. But this kid in front of him, this kid did not play his cards according to common sense at all. He actually kept making a racket. It was clearly the rhythm of extorting him. Even though he knew this point, Manju could only endure it. Firstly, he was indeed in the wrong. Secondly, the matter had blown up. It concerned the ownership of the ancient demon cave. He could not bear this consequence. This time, he could only suffer in silence. He could only suffer in silence, unable to voice out his bitterness. Kid, you're very good. You actually made this seat suffer a setback. Looking at Mo Qingyun lying on the ground, Manju's eyes opened wide. His gaze stared coldly at Mo Qingyun and said, "Although you're a little clever, don't forget that the fury of a divine king realm powerhouse isn't as simple as you think." Regarding Manju's warning, Mo Qingyun did not care at all and said, "Divine king is amazing. Divine king can casually injure people? If that's the case, wouldn't a divine venerable realm powerhouse be able to slaughter billions of living beings at will?" You. Mo Qingyun's words were said halfway. Without waiting for Manju to refute him, he pretended to be weak and fell down. Seeing Mo Qingyun's situation, Chu Renyun had a nervous look and checked Mo Qingyun's situation. When he discovered Mo Qingyun's situation, his expression became somewhat strange. Although Mo Qingyun suffered some injuries, it was not as serious as what he showed at all. Who was Chu Renyun? An old monster who had lived for countless years. It was not an exaggeration to describe him as shrewd with age. He knew Mo Qingyun's situation and immediately understood Mo Qingyun's thoughts. He thought to himself, this kid's guts are really not ordinary. A mere initial stage heavenly soldier realm cultivation actually dares to think of extorting a divine king realm powerhouse. Really interesting. Understanding Mo Qingyun's idea, Chu Renyun naturally had to cooperate. Carefully putting down Mo Qingyun, Chu Renyun's face turned ashen. He looked at Manchu with a cold gaze and shouted, "Manchu, I will give you 5 breaths of time. Give me a satisfactory answer. Otherwise, I will kill these juniors behind you, even if it means starting a war between our 2 forces." Seeing Chu Renyun's reaction, Manchu was even more confused. Looking at Chu Renyun's performance, Mo Qingyun seemed to be seriously injured. Was this really done by him? He was very familiar with Chu Renyun. If the situation was not serious, Chu Renyun would not have such a reaction. Could it be that this brat's strength is too weak, and I can injure him with just a light push? Manchu felt that his brain wasn't enough. After thinking hard for a while, he looked at Chu Renyun helplessly and said, "Tell me, what do I have to do to let this matter pass?" 10 million heaven crystals. Seeing that Manju had taken a step back, Chu Renyun didn't waste any time and directly stated his request. Hearing Chu Renyun's request, Mo Qingyun was shocked. His heartbeat involuntarily sped up. Previously in the myriad Demon Emperor Palace, Chu Jiangshao said that the reward of 100,000 heaven crystals was enough to make Chu Li and the others excited. It could be seen that no matter what, 10 million heaven crystals should be a huge sum of money. As for Chu Li and the others, they were all stunned on the spot when they heard Chu Renyun's price. If Manchu agreed, wouldn't Mo Qingyun instantly become rich? 10 million heaven crystals. Why don't you say 100 million? Hearing Chu Renyun's price, Manchu was shocked and replied in an unhappy tone. At most 2 million heaven crystals, I won't agree to any more. 8 million. Chu Renyun's face sank and made a concession. Previously, the price of 10 million heaven crystals was not his bottom line. It was just that he had quoted a high price so that he could bargain with Manju. 8 million heaven crystals. Manchu naturally wouldn't agree and immediately lowered the price. 3 million. 7 million. 4 million. 6 million. 5 million. Deal. Before long, Manshou and Chu Renyun haggled for a moment and had a result. Seeing the final result, Chu Li and the rest were all stunned. 5 million heaven crystals were obtained by Mo Qingyun just like that. An initial stage heavenly soldier realm person actually really succeeded in extorting a divine king realm powerhouse. Not only did he succeed, he even extorted 5 million heaven crystals. This was a heaven-defying rhythm. Chu Li, this kid, doesn't seem to be simple. Not simple, but rather impressive. We seem to have underestimated him. This guy even dares to extort divine kings. He's probably not a good character. We dissed him previously. Will he take revenge on us? Seeing Mo Qingyun's performance, Chu Li and the rest's expressions became tense, somewhat lacking in confidence in their hearts. They acknowledged that if they were in Mo Qingyun's shoes, they definitely would not dare to do so. Under the shocked gazes of Chu Li and the rest, Manshou took out the heaven crystals and handed them to Chu Renyun. Many thanks, Senior. The heaven crystals that Chu Renyun handed over, Mo Qingyun did not go and accept it. He expressed his gratitude and said, Senior, it's not safe for me to carry 5 million heaven crystals. It's better for you to safekeep it for me. Mo Qingyun was very clear that if he brought 5 million heaven crystals into the competition ground, he would undoubtedly become the common enemy of all. Forget about the barbarian demon lineage. Probably even Chu Li and the rest would be envious and give rise to evil thoughts towards him. It's indeed not a good thing for you to carry so many heaven crystals. Let this old man safekeep it for you. Regarding Mo Qingyun's request, Chu Renyun did not refuse. Nodding his head with a faint smile, he continued, Oh, right, you brat want to marry my granddaughter. You can't not show anything at all. These 5 million heaven crystals, I'll take it as your betrothal gift to me. Hearing Chu Renyun's words, Mo Qingyun was dumbfounded, directly standing dumbfounded on the spot. This old man was a bit of a scammer. No, this was not a bit of a scammer. This was a scammer to the max. The 5 million heaven crystals that he risked his little life to get were taken by Chu Renyun, just like that. Looking at Mo Qingyun's depressed appearance, Chu Renyun smiled smugly before asking Mo Qingyun in concern, How are your injuries? Can you still continue participating in the competition? I can still hold on. Mo Qingyun had a solemn look as he answered Chu Renyun and said, Since I promised Big Brother Chu, then I don't need to go back on my word. As long as I still have a breath, I absolutely won't lose the token and also won't be chased out of the competition ground by people. Hearing Mo Qingyun's answer, Chu Renyun nodded his head and did not continue saying anything. He was still very clear about Mo Qingyun's injury situation. Him asking like this right now was undoubtedly cooperating with Mo Qingyun, letting him act a little more realistically. Mo Qingyun's matters were dealt with. Chu Renyun was not willing to delay time and said, The rules of the competition, I believe that you all know already. Since that's the case, then don't waste time anymore. I'll go in. Hearing Chu Renyun's instructions, Mo Qingyun and the rest did not delay anymore, entering the Earth Dragon tribe one after another. Mo Qingyun and the rest entered the Earth Dragon tribe. The barbarian demon lineage did not delay either, following closely behind them and entering. Chapter 3111. The passage into the Earth Dragon tribe was very long, and it took them an hour to finish. When they emerged from the passage, the space in front of Mo Qingyun immediately became much wider. The Earth Dragon tribe was even more spacious than the ancient monster city from before, although the buildings were slightly simpler. As soon as they emerged from the passage, the Chaos Azure Dragon Ghost Wolf of the Barbarian Demons shouted coldly at Chu Li and the others, Smart demons, hand over that kid. The other lesser demons of the Barbarian Demon tribe were on the verge of drawing their swords in response to the Chaos Azure Dragon Ghost Wolf's angry shout. Sometimes, people's thoughts were very strange and contradictory. Chu Li and the others usually found Mo Qingyun an eyesore, but now that the Barbarian Demons had specifically asked them to hand over Mo Qingyun, They wanted to protect Mo Qingyun with their lives. In their eyes, handing over someone with a single word from the other party was far too cowardly. Preparing for a duel so soon? Looking at the situation before him, Mo Qingyun frowned as a sense of surprise arose in his heart. If victory was decided now, he wouldn't have a chance to search for the origin of the heavenly general concept here. Chu Li curled his lip in disdain when he heard the other party's order. Who do you think you are? You think you're worthy of giving me orders? If I hand him over with a single word from you, won't we have to admit defeat with a few words from you? If you want us to hand over Mo Qingyun, then show us some ability and let us see it. The primordial coiling realm serpent giggled when she saw Chu Li's attitude. Dan Shi, he's already said that he wants you to show some ability. Satisfy him. The Chaos Azure Dragon Ghost Wolf raised his head when he heard the primordial coiling realm serpent's words. I also want to see what kind of ability a genius junior of the smart demon tribe has. As soon as Dan Shi finished speaking, he turned into an afterimage and charged towards Chu Li. Dan Shi was very fast. He arrived in an instant and clawed at Chu Li's face. As Dan Shi swung his claw, a wisp of faintly discernible power of law appeared on his claw. As this power of law swept past, the space in front of Chu Li seemed to have been cut apart. Oomph. In the face of Dan Shi's attack, Chu Li was not afraid at all. He took out a giant axe and swung it forward. The giant axe chopped down horizontally, releasing a faint light and giving off an even more powerful aura. That faint light was the power of the laws that Chu Li had comprehended. His comprehension was deeper than Dan Shi's. Pucci. Under the bombardment of Chu Li's axe, the power of law in Shan Chi's claws was instantly shattered. Then the giant axe in Chu Li's hand stood on Dan Shi's wolf claws. Clang! A crisp sound was heard. The giant axe in Chu Li's hand struck Dan Shi's dragon claw, but it did not hurt the wolf claw at all. Seeing this, Mo Qingyun and the others were shocked. They now had a better understanding of Dan Shi's defense. This guy's defense is truly terrifying. The power of Chu Li's axe just now could even injure an ordinary heavenly general powerhouse, but it couldn't break through his defense. He can't even break through his defense. I'm afraid Chu Li is no match for him. Looking at the battle between Chu Li and Dan Shi, everyone from the Wisdom Demon lineage revealed worried expressions. The defensive power that Dan Shi displayed also made Mo Qingyun extremely shocked in his heart. He thought to himself, no wonder Chu Renyun said that his defense is astonishing. His defensive power is probably not stronger than mine, but not by much. If I fight with him, although my defense is not as strong as his, in terms of battle endurance, he absolutely can't compare to me. The only pity is that encountering such a guy, I can't insta-kill him in an instant. Mo Qingyun pondered in his heart. He made a simple comparison between himself and Dan Shi. Coming to such a result, Mo Qingyun's dread towards Dan Shi immediately weakened a little. Looking at Chu Li and Dan Shi fighting, my hands are also a little itchy. Who wants to play with me? While everyone from the Wisdom Demon lineage was nervous, the Taichu Thunderfire bird of the Barbarian Demon lineage flew above Mo Qingyun and the others. As soon as the Taichu Thunderfire bird attacked, he emitted a mysterious aura that enveloped Mo Qingyun. The meaning could not be more obvious. He seemed to be provoking others, but his target was still Mo Qingyun. This guy wants to set me up? Sensing the aura of the Taichu Thunderfire bird, Mo Qingyun's heart stirred. He saw through the other party's intentions and thought to himself, I hope he doesn't court death. Otherwise, I don't mind teaching him a lesson so that these guys will restrain themselves a little. Boom, boom, boom. At this moment, while Mo Qingyun was thinking in his heart, the ground shook violently. Following that, Mo Qingyun and the others saw huge figures crawling out of the ground one after another. These huge figures were the skeletons of demon beasts, emitting an astonishing aura. Not good. The departed spirit ancient demons have been alarmed. Let's retreat quickly. Looking at the hundreds of thousands of undead ancient demons, the little demons of the barbarian demon clan were shocked and fled into the distance. They were different from the wisdom demon lineage. Their large bodies made it difficult for them to hide, and they could not be entangled by the departed spirit ancient demons. Let's retreat too. Seeing the barbarian demons flee, Chu Li and the others did not delay and immediately fled in another direction. Hearing Chu Li's command, everyone followed closely behind him. That guy's lucky. Seeing the departed spirit ancient demons appear and stop the Taichu Thunderfire bird, Emote Qing Yun snorted softly in his heart. Chapter 31:12. Chu Li is right. It's better for him to keep the token. Don't forget that if it wasn't for Chu Li, you would have been killed by Dan Qi. In my opinion, you should give the token to Chu Li and quickly leave the competition grounds. Understanding Chu Li's thoughts, everyone tried to persuade him. For them to behave like this, it was obvious that they didn't trust Mo Qingyun. Hearing everyone's words, Mo Qingyun shook his head with a faint smile. I'm very grateful that Chu Li stood up for me, but I won't give him the token. Besides, how can you be so sure that I didn't have the ability to protect myself just now and won't be able to keep the token? Mo Qingyun's consecutive questions made everyone a little confused. They thought of an important detail. Judging from Mo Qingyun's speed, the little demons of the brute demon lineage would have a hard time catching up to him. In this way, as long as Mo Qingyun kept running, it wouldn't be difficult to ensure that he wouldn't be eliminated. Although he knew that Mo Qingyun was very fast and that no one could catch up to him, Chu Li was still a little unhappy. Chu Li's expression was unhappy. Mo Qingyun, although your flying speed is very fast, if you choose to run when you're being chased, you will embarrass the 10,000 Demon Emperor Palace and make the brute demon lineage look down on us intelligent demon lineage. Who told you that I could only choose to run when I was being chased? Mo Qingyun's expression froze. He looked at Chu Li in surprise. There was both surprise and ridicule in his eyes. These fellows were too naive to take it for granted based on their own imaginations. Hearing Mo Qingyun's answer, Chu Li and the others were stunned. They looked at Mo Qingyun in surprise. Ignoring Chu Li and the other's surprise, Mo Qingyun slowly stood up and smiled faintly. It seems that if I don't reveal some of my strength, you guys will really think that I'm a pushover. Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Chu Li and the others' expressions immediately became interesting. Looking at Mo Qingyun's posture, it seemed like he still wanted to spar with them. Chu Li, you've always looked down on me. Why don't we play a little? The corners of Mo Qingyun's mouth curled up slightly. He looked at Chu Li with a faint smile and issued a challenge. Seeing Mo Qingyun's action, the surrounding people were stunned. Mo Qingyun was serious. He actually wants to challenge Chu Li. Is he crazy? Does he really have the strength to fight in his current state? I'm not sure if he can fight him head-on, but if he keeps dodging, Chu Li probably won't be able to hurt him. Once Chu Li teaches him a lesson, we'll see how he can continue to be so arrogant. Everyone was suspicious and indignant. Hearing Mo Qingyun's request, Chu Li's expression turned ugly. He said, Mo Qingyun, if you want to fight with me, I can. But I'll say it first. If you keep dodging, then the battle will be meaningless. As soon as Chu Li's words left his mouth, Mo Qingyun knew what he was thinking. He said, don't worry, if I take a step back in the battle, then it'll be my loss. I'll give you the token. How about that? Okay. Hearing Mo Qingyun's answer, Chu Li agreed readily. When Chu Li agreed, he frowned slightly. He felt that something was wrong. Mo Qingyun's answer was too straightforward. This was too abnormal. Chu Li wasn't the only one who thought so. When the surrounding people saw Mo Qingyun's attitude, they were also puzzled. What was Mo Qingyun relying on that made him so confident to fight with Chu Li? Come. After discussing with Chu Li, Mo Qingyun didn't waste time talking nonsense. He directly gestured for Chu Li to fight. Seeing Mo Qingyun's action, Chu Li was immediately unhappy. He directly threw a palm at Mo Qingyun. As Chu Li threw out his palm, a faint light appeared in his palm. Immediately, this faint light was wrapped in a shocking amount of saint energy. It crushed down on Mo Qingyun. Tyrannosaurus, sky, shattering fist. Facing the incoming palm shadow, Mo Qingyun didn't retreat at all. He directly threw out his fist to meet it. In the process of Mo Qingyun's fist, a thin layer of mist also lingered on his fist. This thin mist was the great path law that he had comprehended. Although he couldn't directly use it to fight like Chu Li and the others, Mo Qingyun could still use it to increase his combat strength. Bam! The fist collided with the palm shadow. Immediately, there was a loud explosion, creating a wave of saint energy. When the wave of saint energy exploded, it swept out like a whirlwind towards Mo Qingyun and Chu Li. Facing the impact of the wave of saint energy, Mo Qingyun didn't retreat at all. He took it head-on. Chu Li, on the other hand, didn't take it head-on. He quickly retreated to avoid it. Didn't you say you wouldn't retreat? Why are you retreating instead? Seeing Chu Li's action, Mo Qingyun smiled faintly and teased him. As Mo Qingyun spoke, he also moved and chased after Chu Li. Seeing this scene, the surrounding people were stunned. They felt that it was somewhat unreal. Chu Li was beaten back. It seems so. That kid is actually so strong. His body is so strong. He took that terrifying wave of saint energy head-on, and he's fine. His physical strength isn't weaker than Dan Qi's. If that's the case, isn't Chu Li in trouble? Seeing Mo Qingyun's performance, the crowd felt that something was wrong. Soon after, they felt sorry for Chu Li as he had encountered yet another meat shield-type opponent. Everyone could see that Mo Qingyun's body was strong. Chu Li naturally noticed it too. His expression couldn't help but twitch. When he fought with Dan Qi just now, it could be said that Dan Qi's defense gave him an extreme headache. Now, Mo Qingyun was like this. This was simply bullying. Just as Chu Li was feeling troubled, Mo Qingyun came to his side and smiled faintly. If you run again, I won't fight anymore. Tyrant Dragon's charge. Mo Qingyun clenched his right fist. Saint energy madly gathered in his fist, exuding a terrifying pressure. Immediately, Mo Qingyun's figure moved and crashed into Chu Li like a dragon. What a strong pressure! When Chu Li sensed Mo Qingyun's aura, he was shocked and his expression turned solemn. He realized that he had underestimated Mo Qingyun. Mo Qingyun was not simple. Roar! After knowing Mo Qingyun's strength, Chu Li didn't dare to hold back anymore. He immediately transformed into his original form. Chu Li's body grew rapidly and turned into a giant flaming beast with 2 horns. He exploded with a violent force. Chu Li transformed into his original form. He waved his front claws and collided with Mo Qingyun's fist. Bam! Mo Qingyun's fist collided with Chu Li's claws. A loud sound exploded. At the center of the two's fight, a firestorm erupted and enveloped the two of them. Not long after the firestorm erupted, a giant flaming figure flew out and landed not far away. Everyone was stunned when they saw the giant flaming figure. Chu Li was sent flying. He was defeated by Mo Qingyun. He chose a direction and flew, saying, "Let's find a place to stop and use the gate of reincarnation to search for the remnant souls of heavenly generals. If there are remnant souls of heavenly generals in the gate of reincarnation, then there are heavenly generals nearby who have died. There is a possibility of the heavenly general concept's origin." Not long after, Mo Qingyun stopped outside an abandoned city and carefully sized up its interior. Mo Qingyun observed along the way and found that this city was the largest. The probability of a heavenly general appearing here was the highest. I hope I can find something. After observing the city for a while, Mo Qingyun used the gate of reincarnation to search for the remnant souls of heavenly generals. As Mo Qingyun used the gate of reincarnation, one remnant soul after another entered his perception. After some searching, a powerful remnant soul entered Mo Qingyun's perception. The remnant soul of a heavenly general. Sensing the remnant soul of a heavenly general, Qingyun's heart skipped a beat, and he felt a strong sense of joy. Immediately, he removed the gate of reincarnation and withdrew his consciousness from it. As for reviving the other party, Qingyun did not want to do so. Firstly, it would consume too much saint power. He might not be able to support it. Secondly, reviving the ancient demon would cause a lot of trouble. If he attracted the attention of others, it would bring him great danger. Chapter 31:14. When Qingyun learned that a heaven general realm ancient demon had appeared in the city, he did not waste any more time. Qingyun's figure moved and flew over the city wall of the ancient demon city, entering the interior of the city. Standing inside the city, Qingyun looked around and found that the city was well preserved. Other than the fact that the buildings had aged due to the passage of time, there were no signs of forceful destruction. Seeing such a scene, Qingyun revealed a curious expression and thought to himself, what was the reason for the destruction of these ancient demon tribes? With a strong sense of curiosity, Qingyun slowly rushed forward, searching for the origin of the heaven general concept. However, Qingyun had not walked far when the ground shook and huge, undead ancient demons appeared. Hiss! When the undead ancient demons appeared, they twisted their bodies and attacked Qingyun. Behind these undead ancient demons, there was an even larger undead ancient demon that commanded the situation like a king. A heaven general realm undead ancient demon. Seeing the undead ancient demon at the back, Qingyun was shocked and became a little excited. The undead ancient demons were formed from the undying will of the ancient demons after their deaths. With the existence of a heaven general realm undead ancient demon, the possibility of the heaven general concept's origin remaining would be greater. Heavenly Horse Realm Leap. Looking at the ancient demon charging at him, Qingyun was shocked and hurriedly dodged to the back. Although his defense was strong, it was impossible for him to withstand the siege of hundreds of undead ancient demons. Qingyun rode the winged Saint Power Pegasus. With a flash, he disappeared from his original spot. When Qingyun appeared again, he had already distanced himself from the undead ancient demons. He began to think of a way. If I want to find the origin of the heaven general concept, I have to deal with these undead ancient demons. Even if I can't deal with them, I have to at least lure them out of the city. With this thought in mind, Qingyun no longer hesitated and entered the city again. Roar! As soon as Qingyun entered the city, the undead ancient demon rushed towards him and attacked him crazily. Qingyun decided to lure these undead ancient demons away. He did not flee immediately. Instead, he led them out of the city unhurriedly. The undead ancient demon did not have high intelligence. Seeing that it had not lost its target, it continued to chase after Qingyun. Looking at the undead ancient demon that was following him closely, Qingyun revealed a bright smile and said, "These undead ancient demons are not very intelligent. It doesn't seem difficult to lure them away. The only troublesome thing is that the undead ancient demon of the heavenly general realm doesn't seem to be following me." Chapter 31:16. After Qingyun entered the city, his footsteps didn't stop as he immediately searched the area. In just a moment, Qingyun searched several fortresses but did not find the origin of the heaven general concept. It seems that if I want to find the origin of the heaven general concept, I have to go to the fortress of the heaven general realm undead ancient demon to have a little hope. After a fruitless search, Mo Qingyun no longer wasted time and went directly to the fortress of the Heaven General Realm Undead Ancient Demon. Roar! As soon as he got close to the fortress, the Heaven General Realm Undead Ancient Demon came out and looked at Mo Qingyun coldly. The Heaven General Realm Undead Ancient Demon roared and pounced at Mo Qingyun. So strong. Facing the attack of the Heaven General Realm Undead Ancient Demon, Mo Qingyun did not hesitate and immediately turned to flee. Although his strength had increased greatly recently, he was still not confident that he could fight against the Heaven General Realm Undead Ancient Demon. Seeing Mo Qingyun escape, the Heaven General Realm Undead Ancient Demon immediately chased after him and roared angrily. He had a deep impression of Mo Qingyun. Previously, it was Mo Qingyun who offended him and was chased away by his subordinates. Unexpectedly, not long after, Mo Qingyun came again. This time, he must not let him go. Mo Qingyun did not care about the anger of the Heaven General Realm Undead Ancient Demon at all and fled unhurriedly. This Heaven General Realm Undead Ancient Demon's flying speed was not fast, and there was a gap between it and him. If Mo Qingyun wanted to, he could easily get rid of it. The reason why Mo Qingyun had been walking it was because he wanted to lure it away from the city so that he could search its nest later. In this way, Mo Qingyun and the Heaven General Realm Undead Ancient Demon chased each other all the way. After an unknown period of time, some familiar figures entered Mo Qingyun's line of sight. Why are these guys here? Seeing those figures in front of him, Mo Qingyun recognized them. His face was full of shock as he said, "The speed of these guys is not as fast as the ancient demon of the Heavenly General Realm. If they're discovered, they will definitely die." When Mo Qingyun thought of this, he shouted at Chu Li and the others, "Run to the right immediately, don't fly towards me." Mo Qingyun's shout attracted the attention of Chu Li and the others. They all turned their heads to look. When they saw the Heaven General Undead Ancient Demon, they were all stunned. This guy actually went to provoke a Heaven General Realm Undead Ancient Demon. Is he crazy? Who was the one who said that if we follow Mo Qingyun, we won't encounter any ancient undead demons? Who would have known that he would go and provoke a Heaven General Realm Undead Ancient Demon again? This guy is a madman. Let's go. The further we get from that guy, the better.